It's Tuesday, October 7th. Today, an unplanned outage. What Manitoba Hydro says caused an hours-long power outage that left a group of seniors stuck in their apartments. Waking up to an unpleasant surprise, the late-night switch that left some drivers frustrated and fighting back. And a new tariff ahead of trade talks, the levy announced by the U.S. president before the Prime Minister even touched down. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, Manitoba. Happy Tuesday. Thank you so much for being with us here on Your Morning Winnipeg. Joseph Bernacki is live at the theatre company Hood and Dagger. They're doing a spooky production this season. It's called The Haunting of Hill House. We know that one. It's a spooky one indeed. It's scary and creepy and so much fun. So we're going to find out a little bit more about the production itself and how you could get your chill on. But waking up to a chill this morning.
Talk about a chill. Oh my goodness. And it seems to have seeped within our building walls as well. I needed my mittens just to sit at my desk this morning. I needed them for outside too, though. We were as cool as -2. We're actually warming up now, sitting at the freezing mark. Winds this morning, they're out of the west-southwest, 18 kilometers per hour. The pressure is rising and the humidity is sitting at 89%. Pretty clear though. And once again, satellite image not going to be showing us too much, and that's because the conditions will remain so clear and sunny throughout the day today. If only that sunshine would throw a little warmth our way. Of course, it hasn't even started to rise. That's a ways off yet. 7:37, I think, is official sunrise this morning. I'll have to double check that, but I think it's sometime around then. Anyway, taking a look at the futurecast to see how the day will play out. Plenty of places are waking up to clear conditions. You can see there's a few extra clouds, and with those clouds, a little bit of scattered precipitation, either some flurries across the more northern stretches or some showers here through east central Manitoba. All of that will continue to clear as the day goes on, and sunshine then taking its place. Like I said, if only the sunshine could bring some warmth, though. That will not be the case for us today. Even though it'll look good, you're still going to want those extra layers on. Tomorrow, totally different story. Tomorrow, we're back up above seasonal with a beautiful stretch of days to kind of finish off the rest of this week and carry us into the coming weekend. That sunshine is going to stick around here through southern Manitoba, although all the while northern Manitoba will still see a few extra clouds. I mentioned the warm up coming, so 9 degrees today. That keeps us below the seasonal 13 degrees, but then up to 17 and staying in those high teens, and still could hit low 20s before a round of rain on Sunday causes temperatures to fall off a little bit for Thanksgiving Day.
Thank you, Terry. Seniors camped out in the lobby. Others were trapped in their apartments. That was the scene in just one apartment complex Monday, as Osborne Village endured an 8-hour-long power outage.
The hydro went out about 10:30 this morning and didn't come back on till 6 o'clock tonight.
Nearly 1,000 Manitoba Hydro customers were hit with the unplanned outage Monday. Lorna Cronin says seniors in her building depend on elevators to get in and out of their homes. She and others spent the day helping feed and care for fellow residents stuck in the lobby. Cronin said she was frustrated, not knowing how long the outage would last for or what caused it in the first place.
You know, sometimes that just really appeases people. You know, if they hear, oh, you know, a transformer got hit or something by a truck, it's going to be a few hours or something like that. They're a little more accepting of that rather than no answer.
Manitoba Hydro told CTV News the outage was caused by a DC junction box failure. It says it was a difficult fix, calling in extra crews to replace damaged equipment and check underground cables. Hydro says power to the area was fully restored before 7:30 last night. Temporary no parking zones due to road work are pretty common in our city. Signs spell out exactly when and where you can't park, and there's usually lots of notice, but not in one neighborhood. People went to bed thinking they had 24 hours and woke up to their vehicles being towed. CTV's John Hendricks reports.
On a Tuesday this past May, Tricia Brock parked on Home Street in the evening and awoke to an unpleasant surprise. The city had towed her vehicle away.
Usually they do a courtesy tow, but they impounded and gave me a ticket. It was $350.
Leo Coppolo had a similar experience, but he actually saw his vehicle being towed.
So I sprint down the block, truck turns a corner, I turn a corner, it turns another corner, I turn another corner. Finally, he sees me waving him down in the in his rearview mirror and stops.
The driver told him there was no parking allowed on Home Street that day, and there was even a sign telling residents not to park Wednesday. The only problem, on Tuesday, the sign had a different date on it.
Somebody has put a sticker over the sign that changed it from no parking Thursday to no parking Wednesday at night.
Coppolo contested his ticket, and the fine was eventually reduced to $0. However, he hasn't been reimbursed for the cost of the tow, and Tricia Brock never got a cent back.
It was not enough notice, and a few of us on the street had to pay for it.
All these neighbors, everyone's paying tickets and getting towed for completely nonsensical reasons, and then no support. So,
John Hendricks, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Leo Coppolo reached out to the Winnipeg Parking Authority to try and get a refund for the tow. However, he was denied and told refunds are only granted in cases where the vehicle was towed unlawfully, not in cases of personal circumstances. A city spokesperson tells CTV News they're going to need more time to investigate this further. A city councillor has resigned from his position on the Winnipeg Police Board. Councillor Marcus Chambers, who served as chair and represents the St. Norbert Seine River Ward, resigned at the beginning of the month. Chambers served on the police board since 2018. Vice Chair Colleen Mayer will take over his duties until a new chair is appointed. A reason for the decision was not given. Federal budgets will now be released in the fall instead of the spring.
Provide more predictability, I would say, for provinces and territories. I've been talking to them, businesses and organizations that rely on federal funding.
That will start with the upcoming November 4th budget. The economic and fiscal updates will now come in the spring, closer to the start of the fiscal year on April 1st. The budget is also set to introduce a separation between operating and capital spending. Ottawa says the change is aimed at reviving stalled business investment and focus on how federal dollars contribute to long-term economic resilience. The changes come after the interim parliamentary budget officer estimates that Canada's deficit will grow to $68.7 billion this year. The government plans to balance the operational budget in 3 years. Commemorations are taking place this morning, marking 2 years since the October 7th attacks. At the site Nova Music Festival, people are reflecting on the horror that unfolded 2 years ago when Hamas launched a series of surprise attacks in southern Israel. Memorials today are remembering the victims of the attacks. 1,200 people were killed by Hamas and 251 people were taken hostage. Explosions rang out in Gaza this morning. According to the Hamas-run Gaza Health Ministry, more than 67,000 people have been killed by Israel's military campaign in response to the Hamas attacks over the past 2 years. Blockades and continued strikes have been fueling the humanitarian crisis in the territory. In Egypt today, Israel and Hamas are expected to resume indirect talks aiming to reach a possible Gaza ceasefire. Sources close to the negotiations say there was progress made yesterday. The first phase of the U.S. proposed plan would establish a ceasefire and see hostages released in exchange for Palestinian detainees. A new Canadian study says emotional well-being is just as important as physical health for longevity. Researchers looked at more than 8,000 people over 60 and found 1 in 4 were able to deliberately improve their health and happiness in just 3 years. The key factors were social support, positive mindset, and healthy habits. Experts say it's about focusing healthy habits for the whole person. They believe the findings could change how we approach aging in the years ahead. More than 300 performers paraded a 67-meter fire dragon adorned with thousands of burning incense sticks through the streets of Hong Kong for the Tai Hang Fire Dragon Dance. The Mid-Autumn Festival is a celebration for peace and safety that showcases cherished customs. It's nationally recognized for its cultural significance, but it's also become a popular tourist attraction that drives sales which benefit the local economy. The festival started on Sunday and it ends today. Taking a look now at the current traffic situation around Main and Broadway. It looks like it's starting off with a smooth drive this morning. If you have any traffic tips or updates to share, please text them to us at 10400. Let's go now to Joseph Bernacki. We're talking about Hood and Dagger, which of course is a theater company. They have a spooky show this season. Good morning.
Good morning, Rochelle, and good morning, Manitoba. Yeah, it's really exciting. It's going to be The Haunting of Hill House. Of course, it's based off of the 1959 novel by Shirley Jackson with the same title. Obviously, it's a spooky premise just in time for Halloween. It's based on a cast of characters that's brought to a haunted house, supposedly in an undisclosed location, by a professor who's trying to elicit responses of the supernatural, people that have the belief in the paranormal, and these people are locked in a house for a few days to try and gauge their response, and some spooky things happen. We're going to be showing a little bit more of course, of different scenes throughout the show today, meeting a whole bunch of the cast. The show is sold out for Hood and Dagger. It's the first of their 3 shows. It's going to be running from October 23rd to October 26th at the theater inside St. Boniface University. Their second show is going to be taking place in the new year in February, and then one later in the springtime. But it's a great group of cast and crew, all volunteers, and really promoting community theater, how it's evolved over the last few years. You're going to get an inside look at the first scene later on in the 6 o'clock hour for CTV Your Morning Winnipeg. It should be a fun morning, so stay tuned for some great conversations.
Ooh, it's going to be spooky. Thank you, Joseph. And you know what else is spooky? That full moon. I saw it yesterday. It was bright and gorgeous.
It really was gorgeous. Yeah, I don't find it spooky. I love it so much, honestly. And I was noticing it this morning on my way into work this morning because the conditions so beautiful and clear. Now, it's also cold, though, this morning, so you're going to want that extra layer on. We've been doing this little dance with the freezing mark. I mentioned when I was coming into work, it was -2, and then just a moment ago, we gave you the 5 a.m. reading of 0 degrees, but now for the 6 o'clock hour, -1, so we've slipped again. We've got winds. They're on the lighter side, though. They're out of the west, just 14 kilometers per hour. The pressure is rising with the humidity sitting at 92%. And yes, the sky is clear, so you can come out and do some moon gazing or stargazing. Just make sure that you are properly layered up. These temperatures below seasonal to kick us off, and they'll stay that way even when we're reaching that expected high. Now, the good news is, because it's clear, we'll see plenty of sunshine today. And even some places where there's a few extra clouds this morning, especially through east central Manitoba and parts of the north, even there, things will be clearing out nicely with mainly sunny conditions expected around the province today, but just the cool temperatures to last for one more day before we're back up above seasonal, pushing up into the mid to high teens, which is where we'll stay for the rest of the week. And we're even going to be sitting there as we're rolling on into the long weekend. Taking a break right now. We'll be back with Your Morning Winnipeg.
Weather is brought to you by MJ the Musical at Centennial Concert Hall, November 5th to 9th.
Good morning. It is 6:15. Winnipeggers might be able to ride a night bus once again. This comes after the city's latest transit master plan cut the service. The public service wants to expand weekday transit hours to 2 a.m. and stretch weekend and holiday hours to 12:45 a.m. The plan is to roll out the service in 2 phases, starting mid-December. Phase 1 would use transit on request to fill the gap. Then in April, some existing routes will run well into the night. Public Works expects the changes to cost $562,000 for the first year. This will be discussed during today's Public Works Committee meeting. Prime Minister Mark Carney has landed in Washington ahead of his face-to-face with the U.S. president today. But even before the Canadian plane landed, Donald Trump fired another tariff shot. CTV's Mike Le Couture has more on what it is and the game plan.
Prime Minister Mark Carney landed in the U.S. Capitol, hopeful to make progress on punishing tariffs on Canadian steel. And U.S. President Donald Trump is expecting it.
He's going to ask about tariffs because a lot of companies from Canada are moving into the United States, you know.
And there's a new levy for the leaders to talk about. The president posted on social media that the U.S. will impose 25% tariffs on light and medium duty trucks. Trump's former ambassador to Canada has this warning for the prime minister.
He has to come prepared, and he understands that, retaliatory tariffs are not the way. You certainly cannot try to compete with President Trump because you'll lose.
Before the new tariff announcement, Ontario Premier Doug Ford repeated his call for Canada and U.S. to work like allies instead of adversaries.
It seems like he's given more love to China and Russia than he is his closest ally in the entire world.
Expectations are high from opposition leader Pierre Poilievre, who is calling on Carney to keep his campaign promise to negotiate a win.
Will he also confirm that this deal that he's announcing, this win, will include elimination of tariffs on autos, softwood lumber, Buy America, and all other protectionism against Canada?
The conversation will center on trade issues and what we want to do to protect Canadian industries and Canadian workers.
The Prime Minister's office confirmed Minister Tim Hodgson will be joining the delegation at the White House, an indication that energy and natural resources will be part of conversation.
A Trump-appointed federal judge has temporarily blocked the deployment of National Guard troops to Portland, Oregon. Protesters outside of an immigration detention facility in the city were met with tear gas and pepper spray over the weekend. Donald Trump says those clashes justify deploying the National Guard to protect federal agents. The judge disagreed. A similar situation is taking place in Chicago.
The state of Illinois is going to use every lever at our disposal to resist this power grab and get Noam's thugs the hell out of Chicago.
The state of Illinois and the city of Chicago are suing the Trump administration over the deployment of troops. Trump authorized sending 300 National Guard troops to Chicago over protests against ICE agents. The Manitoba government says it will reach net zero emissions by 2050 using its newly unveiled 43-point plan. However, rather than focus on specific projects, it's really more of a guiding document laying out how environmentally friendly decisions should be made. The plan includes a new climate change committee of cabinet tasked with making sure all policies consider climate risks and opportunities, partnering with Indigenous nations on clean energy projects, working with the business and education sectors to make sure new technologies lead to jobs and that young people are taught about career paths in a low carbon economy. The province also wants to have a net zero electricity grid by 2035 and reduce northern communities' reliance on diesel and other fossil fuels. In terms of agriculture, the plan calls on the government to shore up beneficial management practices, focusing on emission reductions, carbon sequestration, and transitioning to low-emission energy systems. And the plan calls to build up public transportation province-wide and Manitoba's electric vehicle charging infrastructure.
Well, one of the things that I hear as minister and from the experts is that typically you want a charger about every 150 kilometers or so. And so we're currently mapping those things out. Really exciting piece of that Manitoba hydro charging stations right to Thompson so that people in the north, people in rural communities can have that pathway from Winnipeg all the way up to Thompson. It's going to be 6 charging stations. I believe they're going to have about 4 ports each, if I'm not mistaken.
PC environment and climate change critic Greg Nesbitt says the NDP government was slow to come up with a plan and that it'll fall short on detail.
I think it's remarkable that this NDP government is 2 years in, and this is the first time we've heard serious talk about the environment. So I would think that perhaps the Premier and his colleagues are pandering to the environmental people and just putting this out without much detail.
NDP Environment and Climate Change Minister Mike Moy says the plan is going to be broken down into actionable 3-year plans, the first of which is already in development. Some road closures to remind you about this morning. Sargent Avenue is closed between Milt-Stegall Drive and Aaron Street, with the exception of one westbound lane. After the morning rush, only one lane will be open on Aaron between Sargent and Wooliver, and only one northbound lane will be open on La Jumadière between Sage Creek Boulevard and Fermor. If you have any other traffic tips or updates to share with us, you could text them 10400.
And looking through the Bathfitter Live Eye now, Bathfitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years. Clear but cold this morning, some of the chilliest temperatures that we've had so far this season, but there will be plenty of sunshine to join us eventually once it starts to rise at about 7:37 this morning. When I say cold, I'm talking not just below normal, but below the freezing mark, although both would be pretty similar. For example, 1 degree would be a seasonal low temperature, so anything that's below seasonal will be probably below the freezing mark, or at least right at 0. That's where Portage La Prairie is. And while we're sitting at -1 right now, there are some plus digits just a little bit to the east of us, but looking to the west of us, and these temperatures are well below the freezing mark, a fistful of degrees or more. So yes, it's chilly this morning. You're going to want those extra layers on, but it is very clear, and we will see plenty of sunshine today. Up into the north, you can see that we've got the Plus digits, again, closer to the eastern border, but further to the west where it's clearer. Usually that blanket of clouds, or the clouds provide a little blanket of insulation, and that's the case. So you've got the extra clouds and just a couple of degrees more warmth along that eastern border than off to the west. As far as how things will play out throughout the day today, I've mentioned the sunshine that we'll eventually see, and it will warm us up somewhat. I mean, more so than the -1 where we're sitting right now, but to only 8 degrees by the time kids are coming home from school today, with our expected high stopping at 9, below the seasonal 13 degrees, but we'll surpass those numbers later this week. Beautiful temperatures and conditions as we continue through the rest of the weekend into the coming weekend. And our rainbow is all thanks to Missy, captured in the Ebb and Flow First Nation area. Thanks for this, and keep the pictures coming to Winnipeg Weather at CTV.ca, and we'll be back right after this break.
Good morning. Your morning just got a whole lot richer. We're giving away a staggering $20,000. Imagine what you could do with an extra 20 grand. A dream vacation, some home renovations, paying off some bills. The possibilities are endless. Today's code word is bright. Head to the contest page on ctvwinnipeg.ca or scan the QR code on your screen. Enter the code word bright with your info for your chance to win CTV Your Morning Winnipeg's $20,000 giveaway. Good luck. Ontario's Premier is threatening to pull some of the most popular liquor brands off of the shelves at the LCBO. It comes after he expressed anger with the company over its plan to close a bottling plant in Ontario. CTV's Siobhan Morris reports.
Some booze-run staples may disappear from the LCBO in a matter of months. It's the latest round in a standoff between Doug Ford and Diageo, the owner of brands like Bailey's, Captain Morgan's, Guinness, and Crown Royal.
This is what I think about Crown Royal. That's what they could do.
The Premier's pour out last month over a planned closure of a Crown bottling plant in Amherstburg outside Windsor. The work shifting to the U.S., costing about 200 Canadians their jobs.
We are pulling Crown Royal off our shelves as soon as the last person leaves that plant. And then we'll look at Smirnoff's next.
The biggest selling vodka brand in the country. Ford brushing off any potential hit to the LCBO's bottom line or any further job losses for Diageo.
We do over $765 million, more than any jurisdiction anywhere in the U.S. or in Canada. And they want to close down a plant over what, $8 million of wages they think they're going to save?
There is worry amongst Canadian farmers who raise the rye for Crown, and there are plants in Manitoba and Quebec. Ford emphasizes the LCBO is one of the biggest buyers of booze in the world.
And I'll use that leverage to make sure we send a signal.
Outside this Toronto LCBO, there is some toasting to that idea.
I know they're upset about losing the jobs in Windsor, so if that's a way of addressing that and trying to protest it a little bit, then sure, I'd support it.
But there are more calls to give this a sober second thought.
It's Canadian. Keep it on the shelves.
This is getting beyond ridiculous now.
I would think that it's probably better to just wait and see what sort of end of negotiations are in with the company.
The opposition says the hit to other provinces needs to be considered to keep the United Canadian Front intact.
I'd like to see less of these stunts and actually more work. What has he actually done to try to address the closure of the Amherstburg plant since he started pouring out the Crown Royal?
The Amherstburg plant is scheduled to close by February. I did ask Diageo what they make of this expanded threat from the Premier and whether it'll have any effect on their future business plans. They didn't respond. Siobhan Morris, CTV News.
Your Morning Winnipeg. Coffee is brought to you by Robin's Donuts, your favorite stop.
-1 to kick off your Tuesday morning. A little bit chilly and even below seasonal, but it is a clear start to your day. We've got winds out of the west, 14 kilometers per hour. The pressure is rising and the humidity is sitting at 92%. Clear, but cool, with these below seasonal temperatures expected to last throughout the day today. But the satellite image has not much to show us. There's very few even clouds out there right now. Where there are a few clouds through east central Manitoba and parts of the north, you may see a brief moment of precipitation, but only through the morning hours. Even there, things will clear eventually. 9 degrees, that's where we're headed today. So topping out below seasonal, 13, that would be a normal daytime high. We will be cooler than that. and a little bit of a breeze out of the northwest at about 20 kilometers per hour. Then overnight, we're going to drop down to 2 degrees. Still with the clear conditions. Now, this is warmer than this past night was, obviously. We're below the freezing mark right now, but it's also right ahead of things warming up throughout the rest of the week with above seasonal temperatures expected. And also plenty of sunshine. The rest of the week is actually looking really spectacular and will feel pretty spectacular too, especially now that we've had that little taste of what the cool October air can feel like. We're getting things warming up again, and we'll enjoy that for the rest of the week and into the weekend. It does look like we're probably going to be wrapping up Sunday with some showers, and then the long holiday Monday, Thanksgiving Day, will be a little bit cooler just on the other side of that system.
Counties have issued a warrant for an armed robbery suspect. They're looking for this man, 34-year-old Jordan Walker. He faces charges of armed robbery, uttering death threats, and dangerous operation of a motor vehicle. The charges stem from an incident on September 30th near the Red River in East Selkirk. RCMP say a man armed with a hatchet approached 2 fishermen and stole their vehicle. If you have any information about Jordan Walker, call 911, Selkirk RCMP, or contact Crime Stoppers. A Winnipeg City Councillor's push to look at tougher regulations for the use of fireworks is sparking a reaction. Janice Lukes wants to know what other cities do in terms of fines, permits, and restrictions. She says while fireworks are good for celebrations, they can also be dangerous and disruptive. It comes as a shock to fireworks store owners who say the current regulations are working. CTV's Jeff Keel reports.
When fireworks light up the night sky, they're usually set off to celebrate an occasion. But a Winnipeg City Councillor says they can also be a safety hazard.
Sometimes we have a little bit of rogueness that goes on.
Waverley West Councillor Janice Lukes has concerns people are shooting off fireworks without a permit and in their backyard, which may be too small and at all hours. So she wants a review to find out what other jurisdictions do in terms of fines, permits, regulation, and enforcement around the use of fireworks on private and public properties, and which cities have bans in place.
I just feel we're sitting on a tinderbox in Waverley West with all our native grasses everywhere. We do have twice the amount of green space as anywhere else in the city.
Right now, you must get a free permit in Winnipeg to set off fireworks or face a $500 fine, and displays must be at least 30 meters from the nearest building. The co-owner of Red Bomb Fireworks says this review caught them off guard.
So surprise, shock, making problems that probably don't exist.
Matt Bialik says the current bylaw in Winnipeg works well. He worries stricter regulations could hurt sales and says the real issue is a lack of enforcement.
We do not know how many incidents are occurring with fireworks in the city of Winnipeg, and we don't know what the enforcement action is when a conflict does come up.
At Archangel Fireworks, owner Kelly Giles says they expect to be consulted on any changes.
Quite often people writing regs have no idea what they're doing. So as long as industry is part of it and understood and our concerns are heard, I don't think it's going to be negative for us at all.
This comes as Diwali, a Hindu festival where fireworks are set off, is held on October 20th.
I think we have enough regulation put on already.
Jeff Keel, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Luke's added she's not looking for an outright ban, but as an example, some cities in Ontario have full bans, while others restrict use to just certain holidays. Manitoba's Legislative Assembly will be voting on potential fines for Manitoba's former Premier and other MLAs. It stems from an ethics report into a controversial silica sand mining project. Cabinet Minister Nehani Fontaine says it'll be debated in today's sitting, no matter how long it takes.
There's some very serious things in the ethics report, and I would submit that Manitobans want to see the debate and want to have some accountability and transparency.
It comes after Manitoba's Ethics Commissioner found Heather Stephenson, former Deputy Premier Cliff Cullen, and former Economic Development Minister Jeff Wharton tried to push through a controversial silica sand mining project after the Tories lost the 2023 election, but before the new NDP government was sworn in. The Ethics Commissioner found no evidence Stephenson, Cullen, or Wharton had financial stakes in the project, but says their efforts to approve it, quote, lacked ethical and constitutional legitimacy. He recommended all three be fined. Fontaine says she wants those involved to answer questions about the matter today. PC leader Abi Khan says he has no ability to demand Stephenson speak to it in the legislature.
called on the Premier to bring it forward time and time again whenever they brought it up. Bring it forward. Let's debate. We accept the findings. The member from Red River North accept the findings. Let's move forward.
Khan says Wharton previously agreed to pay his fine. Fontaine expects the sitting will take a considerable amount of time. We're learning more about what we can expect at the upcoming Grey Cup Festival. More than 900 Manitoba schools are getting flag football kits. It includes footballs, flags, and a curriculum plan thanks to a partnership with Football Manitoba and the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. The Grey Cup trophy has taken a road trip to spotlight northern culture and attractions. Stops in Flin Flon, Thompson, and Churchill are scheduled, and festival organizers say they are focusing on bilingualism. The festival website, marketing materials, and media conferences will be in both English and French. The 112th Grey Cup game takes place Sunday, November 16th at Princess Auto Stadium. The 2025 Grey Cup Festival takes place the week before. Here's a look at what's going on right now along Portage at Polo Park. Looks like things are moving well over here starting off this Tuesday morning. If you have any other traffic tips or updates to share with us, please text them at 10400. Here's a look at your gas prices. The Canadian average is $1.33. The provincial average is lower at $1.28. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.27. And the lowest price in the city is $1.20. All this info is on GasBuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your card today.
Coming up, this is a scene from Hood and Dagger's The Haunting of Hill House.
Mr. Dudley. But let's not give in to our imaginations. Our interest is scientific, and I'm more pleased than
Weather is brought to you by Blinds Are Beautiful. Our new Hunter Douglas showroom is at 900 Lorimer.
All right, chilly out here again. I'll be reminding you that all morning long until it warms up, but that won't be until tomorrow. So yeah, brace yourself for a cool day. Cool enough, I brought the gloves out. I was out here yesterday morning and I didn't have them and I regretted it. So today, no messing around. We're doing our best to stay warm. It's -1 right now. It's, I think, the first time this season that we've been below the freezing mark. So here is our first day with even cooler temperatures than you'd expect this time of year, when 1 degree +1 would be a seasonal low. We get a bit of a breeze out of the west. It's 14 kilometers per hour. The pressure rising, the humidity sitting at 92%. Clear conditions out here. And I was enjoying the full moon earlier on my way into work this morning. I can't see it right now, the positioning of it behind some of these tall buildings, but it's not like there's any clouds that would be blocking the view of that. So depending where you're at, you could probably step outside with a few extra layers and enjoy a little bit of moon gazing, because it's fairly clear, especially all through the southern part of the province and along the western border. East central, northeastern Manitoba, a few extra clouds, maybe a little bit of light precipitation, but that will taper off and clear out, and eventually all of us will enjoy a cool but sunny day. We've got Joseph Bernacki out and about this morning. Let's check in and find out where he's at. Hey, Joseph.
Hey, Terry. Yeah, we're really excited to bring together the cast for another Hood and Dagger Productions. I'm very pleased to be joined by Callie Taves to my right, Brian Hood, and Shyla Pugh. It's a pleasure to have you all on our show this morning.
We're glad to have you here.
Brian, tell us a little bit about Hood and Dagger Productions if people are getting their first taste of the work you guys do.
Yeah, so Hood and Dagger Productions is a community theater here in Winnipeg. We're a registered charity. We put on a whole season of theater every year. So we've got a show coming up in October that's going to be fantastic, a ghost story called The Haunting of Hill House. And then in February 2026, we're doing a spy caper called The 39 Steps. And in May 2026, we're doing Miss Holmes, a gender-bent version of the Sherlock Holmes story.
And Shyla, I understand The Haunting of Hill House is based on a 1959 adaptation of the novel of the same name. Give our viewers a kind of a sneak preview of what they're going to see.
Well, Shirley Jackson's book is a bit of a psychological thriller, and it involves a team of explorers who are checking out this haunted house, and a bunch of things happen to them that might be out of the ordinary, but it's a wonderful thriller, and I think everyone's going to be excited to see this, especially for the spooky season.
And it's really exciting to see, you know, a whole team of volunteers that make this possible. Callie, you're in charge of makeup. This is your first time being a part of a community theater production like this. What's the experience been in the lead up to this?
Oh, it's been great. I've made lots of friends, and I just really urge people to volunteer and just join the community, because it's a lot of fun.
Wonderful. Well, we're going to disperse off to the side, and we're going to see a scene from the production. Take it away, cast, and yeah, we'll get out of the way, and here we go.
Here we are, the small parlor. Come in, my boy, come in. I can tell you, it's much the most pleasant room in the house, believe me.
I think you mean it.
I do. I do. I can tell you I've seen far worse in my work.
That's reassuring. There'll be others coming, I trust?
They're here, 2 charming ladies. Mrs. Dudley informed me they've gone out to explore the grounds.
Alone?
Of course. My dear boy, I don't know what your aunt has told you about Hill House, but there is no physical danger to any of us.
Have you explained this to Mrs. Dudley?
I expect no.
Looking at early markets, the Dow Jones is trading slightly higher. The Nasdaq and S&P index are flat. The loonie slipping overnight to 71.70 cents U.S. The Hang Seng lost 183 points, and the Nikkei index made a small adjustment. Good morning. It is 6:46. A first-of-its-kind addiction clinic is offering culturally safe and accessible services to urban and remote communities. The Mobile Action Network Clinic officially opened Monday on Ellis Avenue. It serves as a hub connecting remote Island Lakes communities to address urgent mental health and addiction needs. The model uses peers with lived experience, Indigenous leadership, and healthcare providers to deliver services that meet people where they live.
This population needs to be able to access services at home. Everybody should be able to access any healthcare services at home, but specifically when it comes to addictions and mental health, that's vitally important, and it is life-changing and life-saving.
Manitoba continues to see some of the highest opioid and alcohol-related death rates in Canada. More than half of those seeking urgent services identify as Indigenous. A mystery lurks at the bottom of the Red River in Selkirk. Several vehicles are submerged there, and a local salvage company is trying to bring some answers to the surface. CTV's Danton Unger was on the riverbank Monday as one of those vehicles was pulled up.
Emerging from the murky depths of the Red River, this truck has been returned to dry land. All part of a cleanup and salvage effort by Submerged Underwater Services.
I'm pretty sure whoever used to own this probably doesn't want it back.
Sean Gertson says his team came across the truck using sonar during a training exercise, but on Monday, when they dove down to pull it up, they discovered there was a lot more than they first thought.
When you look at the sonar, it looked like 3, maybe 4. As it is right now, I don't know. I mean, there could be 7, could be 8.
Getting them out is no easy task. A diver has to swim 23 feet down and attach these massive airbags to the vehicle. A crane is then able to hoist it from the water. For this truck alone, the process took hours.
It was just really difficult because, again, everything was buried up past the wheels.
As for how it ended up in the river, Gertson says that's for the police to determine. Officers were on site Monday running the truck's license plate and VIN number to see if it's connected to any crimes or MPI reports.
For whatever reason, it's still a crime that these are in the drink, right? So they just got to figure out what, why, and how, and so on and so forth.
This is all welcome news for local fishers.
Besides all oil and gas in there, and people are fishing here and they're getting snagged all the time.
Hopefully it'll make a difference, hopefully, and hopefully people don't do it again.
For Gertson, he says he's happy to be doing his part to clean up the Red River, one submerged vehicle at a time.
At some point, someone has to do something and go recover this stuff and do something about it. So, you know, might as well be us.
Danton Unger, CTV News, Selkirk.
Prime Minister Mark Carney will meet with U.S. President Donald Trump today at the White House.
The conversation will center on trade issues and what we want to do to protect Canadian industries and Canadian workers.
Prime Minister Carney is expected to push U.S. President Trump for some tariff relief before CUSMA comes under review next year. We did find out last night that Energy Minister Tim Hodgson will be part of the delegation, suggesting natural resources will be part of the talks. This is Prime Minister Carney's second visit to the Oval Office in less than 6 months. Hudson's Bay is back in court on Thursday for a hearing over the royal charter that established the retailer in 1670. Last week, a hearing was adjourned after the company revealed it had received a surprise bid for the historic document. The company had initially planned to ask permission to auction off the charter. The move comes after the Weston and Thompson families expressed interest in purchasing the artifact. Some road closures to remind you about this morning. Sargent Avenue is closed between Miltsteele Drive and Aaron Street, with the exception of one westbound lane. After the morning rush, only one lane will be open on Aaron between Sargent and Woolever, and only one northbound lane will be open on Lajimadière between Sage Creek Boulevard and Fermor. If you have any other traffic tips to share, please text them at 10400.
-1 outside this morning, a little bit cool, but very clear with a breeze out of the west that's 14 kilometers per hour. The pressure is rising, the humidity sitting at 92%. And yes, you're going to want those extra layers on as we have our first below the freezing mark day to begin, but we will see some improvements. It's just that today will still remain below normal pretty much across the province. Here's a look at what we can expect. Right now, clear conditions all along this western border and throughout the south. A few extra clouds through parts of east central and northeastern Manitoba. The temperatures, like I said, they're going to be a little bit cool, although these values aren't far off of what is normal for this time of year across much of northern Manitoba. So to be in those mid-single digits or mid to high single digits, that is pretty much what you would expect for the north. And enjoy that sunshine or a mix of sun and cloud. Even here through the south, the sun will be shining. It's just the lack of warmth that we'll be feeling today, because 13 degrees is a normal daytime high across much of southern Manitoba, and instead just barely getting up into those double digits. Now, things will improve later this week, but today will probably be the coolest of what we've got to experience, and certainly this morning below the freezing mark to begin, and then not even getting into the double digits. 9 degrees expected here in Winnipeg, expecting similar temperatures throughout the rest of the southeast, and then there's that possibility of some mixed precipitation up around the Barons River area. That's where we've got those heavier clouds in areas through east central Manitoba, and maybe a little bit of precipitation as well in mixed form because of these chilly temperatures. Further to the east of us, conditions fairly clear, and northwestern Ontario can also expect a fair bit of sunshine for today. We can in fact expect it throughout the week and the warmer temperatures to come. So while today we'll struggle to even get to double digits, never mind a seasonal 13 degrees, as early as tomorrow we're surpassing those seasonal temperatures, and we'll play out the rest of this week and into the start of the long weekend with plenty of sunshine and really nice temperatures, even getting up into those low 20s on Saturday. Sunday, though, a little bit of rain and a cool down just on the other side.
Less than a month away from the next federal budget, the Liberal government is changing when future budgets will be delivered and how they'll be calculated. CTV's Judy Trin has more on why and the reaction from Ottawa.
In a break with long-standing practice, the finance minister says all future budgets will come down in the fall, enabling the government to get transfer payments out earlier in the fiscal year.
It's also going to provide more predictability, I would say, for provinces and territories. I've been talking to them, businesses and organizations that rely on federal funding.
The Liberals are also changing the budget framework to separate day-to-day spending from capital investments. Operational day-to-day costs include health and social transfers and government salaries, while capital investments encompass spending on major projects, housing, clean energy, and infrastructure.
When will the budget be balanced?
At the Finance Committee, the opposition slammed the minister for budget changes that don't add up.
Debt is still debt at the end of the day. It doesn't matter how many columns you try to present in front of Canadians and try to trick them. Are you guys going to be cooking the books?
It's irresponsible for a member of parliament to use language like that. I will say that. It's irresponsible.
The changes come after the interim parliamentary budget officer estimated that Canada's deficit will grow to $68.7 billion this year. Some economists say clearly showing how much the government is spending on capital investment is important.
What are we using debt finance for? Is it for, for capital investment, in terms that will be there for decades, or is it for current consumption?
Francois-Philippe Champagne says the Liberal government will balance the operational budget in 3 years while continuing to invest in major projects. Judy Trin, CTV News, Ottawa.
Eye surgeons at Vancouver General Hospital have helped a pair of patients reverse conditions that could have eventually left them completely blind. As CTV's Ben Milger reports, thanks to the new retinal gene therapy, the future looks bright for a northern BC teen.
Any changes? Yeah, most definitely. Been a lot brighter.
Born with a rare genetic eye disorder, 15-year-old Dominic Juliet has always had problems seeing in low light, and it was getting worse.
Even in shady spots like here, for example, I wouldn't be able to see much. And I would constantly have to hold on to my grandma's shoulder or arm whenever I'm around her in a dimly lit area.
The condition, known as Leber's congenital amaurosis, affects about 1 in 50,000 people, and until recently was irreversible.
So with time, he will gradually lose more and more his regular vision, including day visions, and then eventually he may lose complete visions.
Dominic is from Fort St. James and came here to the Vancouver General Hospital Eye Care Center, where he went under the laser. This is actual video of the surgery where he became only the second patient at the center to receive a new gene replacement therapy. After several weeks of recovery, he can now see better than ever and even feels comfortable riding an electric scooter, which he never did before because of his vision.
His self-confidence level has gone to the roof. Yeah, he's really a good kid. He's energetic. He wants to get out and do more.
The procedure has given Dominic the freedom to rely more on himself, a big adjustment for his caregivers.
I know that she said to me at one point, she said, I don't know what to do now because I've been his eyes for 15 years.
Yeah.
Lam says soon even more patients with the same condition will benefit from the procedure.
Maybe for the first time they were able to function at nighttime. They were able to walk in the dark and even stargazing.
For Dominic, it's even impacted his bedtime.
I personally found it disappointing that I felt the need to go to bed so early because I couldn't see. And now that doesn't apply anymore, so it feels pretty good.
Suddenly, his future looks very bright. Ben Milger, CTV News, Vancouver.
That's incredible. All right, we're going to take a break here. We'll be back after this with your 7 o'clock headlines. It's Tuesday, October 7th. Today, some residents of a Winnipeg neighborhood are still on the hook for towing costs, though they say their vehicles should not have been removed overnight. Truck tariffs. How much more expense will the U.S. slap on imported heavy and medium-duty haulers from places like Mexico and Canada? And no need for an outer space service call anymore because these communication satellites refuel and fix themselves, all without any human involvement. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, Manitoba. Happy Tuesday to 7 a.m. Thank you so much for being with us here on Your Morning Winnipeg. Coming up in this hour, we're going to talk about how cycling in winter is really doable. And so there is a woman, she calls herself the Bicycle Mayor of Winnipeg. She's just written a new book about her experience learning about cycling during the winter time. So we're going to delve into that. And then at 7:52, there is a social worker. He's retired. He's traveling around the country just to hear what your problems are, what your worries are. So we're going to find out a little bit more about that. He's in Winkler today. But the weather, it was cool this morning coming out into the garage, 0 degrees. I was surprised.
Yeah, and then it actually dropped off to -2. That was our coolest temperature last hour, and now we're on the rise again, so -1, but yes, a little bit below seasonal to kick off your morning. It's clear out there right now with a light breeze out of the west, 14 kilometers per hour. The pressure is rising and the humidity is sitting at 92%. Clear, cold. Usually extra clouds will provide a bit of a layer of insulation, and that's actually what we're noticing. Where you can see the clouds, we've got some plus-digit temperatures through east central Manitoba and right up into the northeast. But anyone who's on the clearer side, that's where the temperatures are the coolest this morning. So throw those extra layers on. You'll be glad that you did. But then also have the sunglasses close at hand because it's going to be clear and eventually sunny. We're just waiting for that to rise. Around 7:37 is official sunrise here in Winnipeg. With those clouds, there's also the possibility of a little bit of scattered precipitation. But even that not likely to last long. That'll be clearing as the day goes on, getting to the sunshine throughout the entire province. It will be a cool one today, but this will be the end of the cool weather for this week because after today, we're back up above seasonal with beautiful temperatures to last the rest of the week. And plenty of sunshine to last the rest of the week here in the south, but for northern Manitoba, you'll see more clouds through the week and maybe even a little bit of precipitation, especially along that most northern border river, so the far north things could still look a little bit soggy at times. We're just going to be soaking up the sunshine, eventually the warmer temperatures too, as early as tomorrow, but as we're wrapping up the weekend, Sunday, possibly some rain. But it always is followed by a rainbow. Thanks to Lincoln for our beautiful art today, and I appreciate you sending this in, Lincoln. We'd love to see whatever it is that you're working on. Draw, color, or paint. Send that picture to winnipegweather@ctv.ca.
Temporary no parking zones due to road work are pretty common in our city. Signs spell out exactly when and where you can park, and there is usually lots of notice, but not in one neighborhood. People went to bed thinking they had 24 hours and woke up to their vehicles being towed. CTV's John Hendricks reports.
On a Tuesday this past May, Tricia Brock parked on Home Street in the evening and awoke to an unpleasant surprise. The city had towed her vehicle away.
Usually they do a courtesy tow, but they impounded and gave me a ticket. It was $350.
Leo Coppolo had a similar experience, but he actually saw his vehicle being towed.
So I sprint down the block, truck turns a corner, I turn a corner, it turns another corner, I turn another corner. Finally, he sees me waving him down in his rearview mirror and stops.
The driver told him there was no parking allowed on Home Street that day, and there was even a sign telling residents not to park Wednesday. The only problem, on Tuesday, the sign had a different date on it.
Somebody has put a sticker over the sign that changed it from no parking Thursday to no parking Wednesday at night.
Coppolo contested his ticket, and the fine was eventually reduced to $0. However, he hasn't been reimbursed for the cost of the tow, and Tricia Brock never got a cent back.
It was not enough notice, and a few of us on the street had to pay for it.
All these neighbors, everyone's paying tickets and getting towed for completely nonsensical reasons, and then no support. So,
John Hendricks, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Leo Coppolo reached out to the Winnipeg Parking Authority to try and get a refund for the tow. However, he was denied and told refunds are only granted in cases where the vehicle was towed unlawfully, not in cases of personal circumstances. A city spokesperson tells CTV News they're going to need more time to investigate this further. Households across Manitoba and Saskatchewan are inching closer to insolvency. M&P's latest consumer debt report suggests 43% of residents are within $200 of not being able to pay their monthly bills, up 10 percentage points from last quarter. The amount of money the average resident has left over after expenses also fell $256 in just the last 3 months to $750. That's the sharpest decline in all of Canada. One quarter say they're reducing their utility consumption, such as heating their homes as a result, and one quarter says they're eating less to save money. Federal budgets will now be released in the fall instead of the spring.
It's also going to provide more predictability, I would say, for provinces and territories. I've been talking to them, businesses and organizations that rely on federal funding.
That will start with the upcoming November 4th budget. The economic and fiscal updates will now come in the spring, closer to the start of the fiscal year on April 1st. The budget is also set to introduce a separation between operating and capital spending. Ottawa says the change is aimed at reviving stalled business investment and focus on how federal dollars contribute to long-term economic resilience. The changes come after the interim parliamentary budget officer estimates that Canada's deficit will grow to $68.7 billion this year. The government plans to balance the operational budget in 3 years. Medium and heavy-duty trucks headed into the U.S. will soon face a 25% tariff.
Could be fire trucks, could be buses. And so we'll get a sense of whether this affects Ontario or Manitoba and Ontario or Manitoba, Ontario, and Quebec.
U.S. President Donald Trump made the announcement with a November 1st start date. Last month, President Trump said heavy truck imports would face new duties on national security grounds, saying the new tariffs were to protect manufacturers from unfair outside competition. Mexico is the largest exporter of medium and heavy-duty trucks to the United States. Police in Quebec are looking for the person who left a baby born premature at the doorstep at a home in Longueuil.
The police officer and the paramedic transported the baby at the hospital rapidly, and they gave him some care. Fortunately, the baby is in good condition.
Police say the baby, born at 34 weeks, was abandoned on Sunday night. Yesterday, police spent the day going door to door in the neighborhood looking for clues and trying to identify the parents. In Quebec, a conviction for child abandonment carries a maximum prison sentence of 5 years. Anyone with information is urged to call 911. More products could be stripped from the shelves of Ontario liquor stores if plans to shut down a Crown Royal bottling facility in the province go ahead.
We do over $765 million, more than any jurisdiction anywhere in the U.S. or in Canada. And they want to close down a plant over what, $8 million of wages they think they're going to save?
Following news in August that the Amherstburg bottling plant would close, Ontario Premier Doug Ford repeatedly lashed out at Diageo. The company makes Crown Royal and other well-known brands, including Guinness, Bailey's, Smirnoff, and Captain Morgan. The plant employs 200 people and has been operating for nearly 100 years. The company says the closure is part of a plan to streamline its North American supply chain. Premier Ford said he will look at removing Smirnoff from store shelves next. Engineers are working on satellites that fly themselves. A UK company is developing AI-powered satellites that can dock, refuel, and repair each other without any help from humans. When something goes wrong in space with satellites, services like phones and the internet can be affected here on Earth. Self-flying satellites can help keep everything working without having to build out more infrastructure. Here's what's happening now at Kenaston and Sterling Lion. Looks like things are pretty smooth over here. The sky, though, is starting to glow up. As you can see, it's a beautiful start to your morning. If you have any traffic tips to share, text them to us, please, at 10400.
It is shaping up to be a mixed day on the markets. Gold coming up just shy of the $4,000 U.S. mark, announced at $39.77, but has since pulled back and is trading lower today. A strengthening U.S. dollar getting some of the credit as it gained for a second day. European stock markets having a flat day in the wake of the resignation of the French Prime Minister. The stock 600 is unchanged, and France's CAC 40 erased early losses as the French President, Emmanuel Macron, tries to salvage the government there. European truck makers like Volvo and Daimler taking hits in the wake of the news that Trump was imposing a 25% tariff on medium and heavy-duty trucks. It's earnings season south of the border, and cost of living and weight loss pressures may be hitting food and beverage companies in the gut. Constellation reporting a 15% drop in revenue as people make decisions based on their wallet and their health. Those are your morning business headlines. For B&M Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
The Haunting of Hill House is the production being put on right now by Hood and Dagger. It's a spooky story to tell. Good morning.
Good morning, Rochelle, and good morning, Manitoba. Yeah, for your Tuesday CTV Your Morning Winnipeg, we're celebrating community theater, as Rochelle mentioned. This is a sneak preview of the set here for The Haunting of Hill House, brought to you from Hood and Dagger Productions, which has been a thrill to be back, filling in and getting to share some cast members who have never done this before, having some great conversations throughout the rest of the show today. We're going to be showing some more scenes from the upcoming production that's going to be running October 23rd to the 26th. It's one of 3 shows. Later in the new year, they're going to be doing 39 Steps, which is an Alfred Hitchcock adaptation, and then Miss Holmes, of course, a little tweak on, of course, the beloved Sherlock Holmes story that you won't want to miss. Tickets are sold out for this production, but of course they're available for the future dates in the new year. We're going to be having some more actors and sneak preview coming up in about 20 minutes time, so stay tuned.
Okay, thank you, Joseph. Let's go out to the rooftop now. It's a beautiful start to the day. Terry, how's it feeling out there?
I mean, cool, but I'm dressed for it. I'm not messing around this morning. I dug the gloves out, and I'm glad that I did. And then I got the extra layers on. I needed them yesterday and again this morning, but it will be warming up through the rest of the week, so we can get back to enjoying those above seasonal temperatures, at least for a few more days this season. -2, we've dropped off again from where we were last hour at -1. Still fairly clear, waiting for the sun, 7:37, so less than half an hour's time before it rises. And I'm already, because of the clear conditions, seeing the gorgeous glow. Now, that breeze is light. It'll stay that way. It's out of the west right now, 13 clicks. As far as the conditions go today, we will enjoy plenty of sunshine, and it will warm us up from -2. But it's just not going to take us to a seasonal daytime high of 13 degrees. Yeah, that's normal for this time of year. That's not in our very near future. Today will be a cool one around the province, very clear across the south. For northern Manitoba, more of a mix of sun and cloud, and the temperatures for everybody might be a degree or two below what you would expect this time of year, but as early as tomorrow, we're back up above seasonal again. So today we'll probably top out at 9 degrees here in Winnipeg, but for tomorrow we're back up into those mid to high teens. That's where we'll spend the rest of this week, with lots of sunshine expected to carry us right on into the coming weekend.
Weather is brought to you by ABC Fire and Safety, your CO2 refill store.
It's time now for our question of the day. We want to know, what's your go-to fall fashion must-have? You can text your answer along with your name to 10400. Make sure to follow the automated instructions so we can feature your response. Fall into fashion with your Morning Winnipeg for your chance to win. To help warm up your wardrobe, we're giving away three $500 shopping sprees from Outlet Collection Winnipeg. To enter, head to the contest page on our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, and submit your details. And make sure to join us on Fashion Fridays for the latest in fall fashion from Outlet Collection Winnipeg. Here's what's happening now on the Provencher Bridge. It looks like things are moving well. We'll be back after this short break. Stay with us. Good morning. Seniors camped out in the lobby. Others were trapped in their apartments. That was the scene in just one apartment complex Monday as Osborne Village endured an 8-hour-long power outage.
Hydro went out about 10:30 this morning and didn't come back on till 6 o'clock tonight.
Nearly 1,000 Manitoba Hydro customers were hit with the unplanned outage Monday. Lorna Cronin says seniors in her building depend on elevators to get in and out of their homes. She and others spent the day helping feed and care for fellow residents stuck in the lobby. Cronin says she was frustrated not knowing how long the outage would last for or what caused it in the first place.
You know, sometimes that just really appeases people. You know, if they hear, oh, you know, a transformer got hit or something by a truck, it's going to be a few hours or something like that. They're a little more accepting of that rather than no answer.
Manitoba Hydro told CTV News the outage was caused by a DC junction box failure. It says it was a difficult fix, calling in extra crews to replace damaged equipment and check underground cables. Hydro says power to the area was fully restored before 7:30 last night. A city councillor has resigned from his position on the Winnipeg Police Board. Councillor Marcus Chambers, who served as chair and represents the St. Norbert-St. River ward, resigned at the beginning of the month. Chambers served on the police board since 2018. Vice Chair Colleen Mayer will take over his duties until a new chair is appointed. A reason for the decision was not given. Edmonton Oilers fans are breathing a big sigh of relief after superstar Connor McDavid signed a long-awaited contract extension.
When you see Connor's, it's obvious what he wants, which is he wants to win, and his actions have shown that. I think that's a pretty inspiring thing for a player to see.
The Oilers captain has signed a 2-year deal worth $25 million US, but hockey analysts say he could have earned a lot more.
That is someone showing that he's committed to winning a Stanley Cup with the Edmonton Oilers, because like everyone discussed, he could be making upwards of $19 million per year.
McDavid will stay in Edmonton for at least the next 3 seasons. Here's a look at what's going on McPhillips Street. It looks like things are picking up here, but overall moving quite well. No issues to tell you about. If you see problems, text them at 10400.
Traffic is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. Open late, ready when you are.
Time now for some entertainment news. One of Canada's most famous rock bands is reuniting. Geddy Lee and Alex Lifeson of Rush say they will be heading out on a North American tour next year. It will be their first tour since 2015 and their first since drummer Neil Peart died of cancer in 2020. The tour, titled the 50-something Tour, will begin in Los Angeles in June. The band will play Toronto Scotiabank Arena on August 7th and 9th. There's a new book out today about the life of John Candy. The new biography delves into the private battles John Candy faced away from the cameras. Toronto author Paul Myers wrote the book saying he didn't set out to dig up dirt, but wanted to know more about the creative drive that led to Candy's performances. The book, John Candy, A Life in Comedy, includes interviews with many of John Candy's famous friends, including Tom Hanks, Dan Aykroyd, Catherine O'Hara, and Dave Thomas. Her latest album is called The Life of a Showgirl, but maybe it should be called The Life of a Saleswoman. Swift's 12th studio album sold 2.7 million copies on the first day in the U.S. That includes physical and digital formats. It breaks her record for most first-week sales in one day. The Life of a Showgirl also has the second largest sales week for any album in the modern era. The album was released Friday. Tune in for a jam-packed night of entertainment starting at 7 with The Voice. High Potential follows at 9. And MasterChef Canada wraps things up at 10. It's all right here tonight on CTV.
All right, that clip just before Taylor Swift one got me thinking, do you have a favorite John Candy movie?
Oh, Uncle Buck, I think.
I know, and I don't know if it's because, I don't know if it was one of his like best bits, but I think maybe it was just like the nostalgia of where we were at that time in our lives.
And from that movie too, all of it is so good.
That scene with the bear, honestly, like brings tears to my eyes just thinking about it. He's had so many great films, and
he's wonderful.
Yeah, for sure.
We miss him. A true Canadian.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, let's take a look outside, shall we? Through the Bath Fitter Live Eye. Bath Fitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years. I'm thinking about that bear. I shouldn't be. Anyway, okay. Clear out there this morning and cold. Throw those extra layers on. If you don't, you'll be mad about how cold it feels. But if you're properly dressed for it, then you're like, oh yeah, this is October, because we're actually not far from what is seasonal. I mean, we're a little bit below +1, for example. That would be a seasonal low temperature, and we're at -2. Now, you see the difference where the extra clouds are with plus-digit temperatures versus the clearer conditions and the colder temperatures that we're seeing. A rainbow. Hold tight, because I'm going to show you that beautiful rainbow. You'll get to enjoy it a little bit longer. That's just a tease. Anyway, let's take a look up into northern Manitoba, shall we, where the temperatures, again, colder on the clearer side of the province, or a little bit warmer with that extra layer of insulation, all due to the clouds. But even there along that eastern border, those clouds will be clearing eventually, and we'll all enjoy the sunshine then today. It's just not going to bring a whole lot of heat. Not today anyway. 0 degrees as kids settle into the classroom. 6 degrees by lunchtime. And by the time they're coming home, 8 degrees with 9 are expected high for today. Now, 13 is in fact normal for this time of year, so we will remain below that. But then pushing up into those mid to high teens and even hitting the low 20s as we're rolling into the weekend. All of that sunshine disappears, though, with some rain expected on Sunday, and then slightly cooler temperatures as we're wrapping up the long weekend. There's that rainbow. Enjoy it for another few seconds yet. Thanks to Missy for this picture in the Ebb and Flow First Nation. We'd love to see more of your photos submitted to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
Thank you, Terry. Your morning just got a whole lot richer. We're giving away a staggering $20,000. Imagine what you could do with an extra 20 grand. A dream vacation, home renovations, paying off some bills. The possibilities are endless. Today's code word is bright. Head to the contest page on ctvwinnipeg.ca or scan the QR code on your screen. Enter the code word bright with your info for your chance to win CTV Your Morning Winnipeg's $20,000 giveaway. Good luck. At Your Morning Winnipeg, we're all about celebrating your amazing pets, furry, feathered, or scaly. Your Pet of the Week submissions are amazing. We want more, whether it's dogs, cats, birds, or any other pet pals. Send them our way, please. Drop your pet photos and a fun little story about them to Pet of the Week at ctv.ca. And then catch us every Thursday to find out if your pet is our Pet of the Week on Your Morning Winnipeg. Coffee prices have been going up, and as we first told you on Monday, one of Canada's go-to spots for a cup of joe is hiking its prices for the first time in 3 years. CTV's Austin Lee has reaction to the news.
For some, it's a frustrating move.
It's crazy why the prices are going up. I mean, you don't think we don't pay enough for everything? I mean, since it's going up in the supermarket as well.
Tim Hortons increasing its coffee prices by 1.5%, the first price hike from the coffee giant in 3 years.
Meh. I have a lot of things to worry about, and a couple cents on my coffee is not really one of them.
The increase comes after a turbulent few years for the coffee bean market. Tim's says the hike is more than reasonable, noting prices have more than doubled over 3 years. At the grocery store, coffee beans jumped by almost 28% in just 1 year.
It's about 50% more than the 5-year average right now, and we don't see how that price will drop anytime soon. So it was just a matter of time before we saw some chains announcing an increase.
Much of the coffee beans brought into Canada come from places like Brazil, where dry weather is impacting growing conditions. On top of that, tariffs aren't helping. Before much of Canada's coffee supply makes its way here from Brazil, it goes through the States, where it faces a 50% tariff. And even if an importer can avoid the U.S.,
tariffs will create this inflationary pressure that impacts every single trader around the world, because the United States is a huge market.
What cost us $26,000 in November of 2024, in February of 2025 cost us $40,000.
For locally owned shops like Little Victories, price swings have forced them to increase prices this year, but they have been able to circumvent most of Trump's tariffs.
We have the benefit of buying huge amounts of coffee, shipping them directly to Canada, missing the tariffs, and we negotiate directly with the producer in terms of the price that we pay.
Meantime, analysts expect other chains to follow in Tim Hortons' footsteps.
Tim Hortons is often the first. We are expecting other chains to follow suit.
Austin Lee, CTV News.
Always go where you're not.
Coming up, this is a scene from Hood and Dagger's The Haunting of Hill House. We're going to tell you more about this show. Stay with us.
Suggest that a good night's sleep might be in order. I think we're all a bit tired after last night.
I know I am. Too tired to squabble over ridiculous things.
Let's go back to Joseph Bernacki now. We're talking about Hood and Dagger, the theater company, and their latest production. Good morning.
Good morning, Rochelle, and good morning, Manitoba. Of course, we're previewing The Haunting on Hill House. Very pleased to be joined by two more of the cast members, Carmen Barnett and Kyle Botch. Kyle, Carmen, pleasure to have you on our show.
Thank you. Good morning.
Yeah, Carmen, you're playing the character Mrs. Montague. Tell us a little bit how you got involved with the production and what you're looking forward to in just a couple weeks' time.
I used to act long ago in a different life. It's been almost 30 years since I've been on a stage. So this year I decided this was kind of the year of yes, and saw the audition call come up and thought, why not? And thankfully Brian took a chance. So.
And how have rehearsals been so far?
Fantastic. We're like a little family. We're sort of a small crew, small cast, and all of us have gotten to know each other so well. And
that's lovely.
Yeah.
And Kyle, you're playing the character Arthur, is that correct?
Yeah. Yes, I'm playing the character Arthur Parker. He's a headmaster and a friend to Mrs. Montague.
And what's the experience been like over the last few weeks taking all this in?
It's been a lot of fun, you know. I really enjoy getting back into acting because I used to enjoy it a lot in high school, and then I didn't really do much for several years, and so it's been fun to pick that up again.
What does it mean to have the opportunity to promote and, grow community theater? It's one of the big points of emphasis for us this morning to show this production, to be a part of an ensemble of about 30 people.
It's a privilege, I've been able to see the last couple of shows and see, the work that they've put together and bringing different businesses and organizations and tying the community together a lot better, and they've done incredible work, so it's a privilege to be a part of that and build it as well.
We're going to see another scene, so we'll just jump off to the side here, and cast, I'll get you guys to take it away. Go ahead.
It was going to happen sooner or later in any case, and it was sure to be my fault no matter what.
Well, if it hadn't happened, you wouldn't have come to Hill House.
I'd have regretted that, but I still don't know what happens next.
Why? Back to your cozy little apartment. What else?
No.
Well?
I'm coming with you.
Coming where with me?
Back with you. Back home. I'm going to follow you home.
Why?
I never had anyone to care about except Mother. I want to be someplace where...
All right, cool, clear. It's -2 right now with winds out of the west, 13 kilometers per hour. The pressure rising, the humidity sitting at 95%. We are getting moments away from sunrise at 7:37. Clearer conditions. I do want to correct myself. Actually, my director was the one that corrected me. That movie that I was referencing, the John Candy one, was The Great Outdoors with the bear. Anyway, that definitely is the tops of my list. It makes me chuckle again just thinking about it. Okay, the heavier clouds across northern Manitoba come with slightly milder temperatures, at least least you're in the plus digits with the extra clouds, barely, but a few degrees above the freezing mark, whereas anybody in the clearer zone is waking up below freezing this morning. And it will be a cool one today with plenty of sunshine. Even where those extra clouds are, you'll eventually see a little more sun. Mid-single digits across much of northern Manitoba. These values aren't far off of what you would expect for this time of year as far as seasonal temperatures throughout northern Manitoba. But once we're starting to look throughout southern Manitoba, now around 13 degrees it would be normal for this time of year. So nobody's quite getting to that seasonal temperature, maybe at least some double digits throughout the southwest. Whereas here in the southeast, many of us won't even hit double digits, never mind the normal 13 degrees. We will enjoy plenty of sunshine. Where there's those extra clouds through east central Manitoba, there is the possibility of a little bit of mixed precipitation with those cooler temps this morning. There could be a flake or two of snow and then some showers as the day goes on. Red Lake might also see some of that precipitation. Otherwise, further south of that, sunny, clear, just a little bit cool and cold. Now, as far as the temperatures go throughout the rest of the week, today is the last of the below seasonal days, topping out at 9 degrees, but after that, seasonal 13 degrees is going to be behind us, pushing up into the mid to high teens with a little bit more precipitation, especially as we're wrapping up, or not wrapping up, Sunday. I suppose the wrap up to the long weekend will be on Monday when those temperatures drop off just on the other side of that rain.
Taking a look now at your gas prices. The Canadian average is $1.33. The provincial average is slightly lower at $1.28. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.27. And the lowest price in the city is $1.20. All this information is on GasBuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your card today.
She's the bicycle mayor of Winnipeg. Patty Weens has spent over 3 decades living in our sprawling, sometimes frigid Prairie City and has found a way to embrace cycling year-round. And now she's penned a new book that looks to debunk the myths around biking in a winter city and how active transportation can lead to positive social change. Joining me now is Patty Weens. Good morning, Patty.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm very well. Thank you so much. Now, how did you earn the title, the Bicycle Mayor of Winnipeg? How did that happen?
Right. So there's an organization in Amsterdam called bycs.org, and you have to apply, send a resume and reference letters, and have an interview, and you have to be a bike advocate.
Okay.
So yeah, and then I went through that process, and I was titled the Bicycle Mayor of Winnipeg. I'm the first one in Winnipeg.
Oh, that is incredible. Okay, so how did this whole journey with cycling in the wintertime even happen for you? You only started this over 3 years ago.
Over 3 years ago, I just didn't want to pay for parking downtown. That's all it was. And I said, other people do it. Maybe I can. I was 49 years old. I was born in Brazil. So, you know, I've been here for 35 years, but, you know, you still feel like winter is sort of insurmountable.
Right, it's a lot.
Yeah, so I just rode my bike in winter one day, and at the end of it I went, wait, do I have superpowers now? Like, it just feels so amazing.
Why does it feel so amazing?
Because you're able to find strength inside to conquer something that you didn't realize that you could, and all of a sudden you think, wait, maybe there's more in my life I can conquer that I didn't know, and it just transfers to everything you do.
Okay, so you described that feeling, but what else physically did you feel when you were done your bike ride?
Like I had just gone to the gym. It's a bonus, you know, ride through the gym, and I just don't need a workout for the day.
You don't need to go to the gym after, because
exactly.
That is the gym.
It's a free workout.
Okay, so describe to me some of the challenges, though, that you did face and why you think that cycling in the winter is easy to do.
Well, I think that the biggest challenge we have here is the incompletion of our network. There are parts of the protected network that are missing. And in the winter, that becomes really obvious because now the snow is pushed onto what you think is a bike lane.
Yeah.
And it wasn't cleared as much when I started. It's getting a lot better for sure. But you realize that the reason people don't bike in winter isn't because of the cold. Winnipeggers are tough. They don't bike because they don't feel safe. So feeling safe is number one. You know, you just want to feel safe when you're riding your bike. But the reason that's important is because if I choose to ride my bike year-round, that's one less car in front of you. And do you love being stuck in traffic in winter? Exactly. So more people will choose it because it is a cost savings. And when you notice that it's a cost savings, you also start realizing that you feel better. You get that workout, and you just start meeting more people who are also interested in that, and then your life changes and you write a book.
That's cool. Okay, so tell me about the book. That'll Never Work Here is the title of this book. Tell us a little bit about what you explore in it.
So the reason I called it That'll Never Work Here is because I've traveled the world riding bikes in different places like Amsterdam and Brazil, and you start reading about what other countries are doing to make it easier for people to choose the bicycle. And you come home and you say, you know what they do in Sweden, you know what they do in Amsterdam, and the first thing that someone says to you is, whoa, that'll never work here. Because you think, oh, it's a winter city here, that'll never work. And yet places like Oulu in Finland have most of kids riding their bikes to school year-round. They have winter half the year. So that's how this came about. I really wanted people to think about the different ways that you can move in a city that is better for everyone.
That's incredible. Now, That'll Never Work Here is going to be launched at McNally Robinson on November the 8th. Thank you so much for sharing this with us. Congratulations on the book.
Thank you so much.
Right now, we're sitting at -2 degrees, and with the wind chill, feels like -6. It is sunny, though. We'll be back after this with more Your Morning Winnipeg.
Your Morning Winnipeg. Coffee is brought to you by Robin's Donuts, your favorite stop.
All right, we have finally got the sun shining over the city. It's looking a little bit brighter now. It's all thanks to those clear conditions, but also thanks to those clear conditions, we're below the freezing mark right now, -2. Throw those extra layers on. It's a little bit chilly out there. And there's a bit of a breeze as well. It's out of the west, 13 kilometers per hour. The pressure is rising. The humidity is sitting at 95%. Now, all of that sunshine will eventually warm us up a few degrees, but it's still going to keep us below what is normal for this time of year, with low teens being a seasonal daytime high. We're not going to be hitting that number today. You can see on the satellite image how clear it is all through the west, well, the south and the west, with the extra clouds through east central Manitoba and northeastern Manitoba. With those clouds, temperatures just a couple degrees warmer, slightly above the freezing mark, just by a few degrees, but still on the other side of that, where it's clearer, it's even colder. And everybody will eventually see those clouds clearing today, even through parts of the northeast and east central Manitoba, but it's just not going to amount to a whole lot of heat. What it will amount to is sunshine, though. 9 degrees, that's where we're headed today, topping out well below seasonal, with 13 degrees being a normal daytime high. We're not even going to hit double digits today. We'll deal with northwest winds at about 20 kilometers per hour, and those clear conditions still expected overnight, but it is starting to warm up in the days ahead. So this coming night, we might even stay above the freezing mark. 2 degrees are expected low as those winds shift out of the southwest. And then those winds tomorrow getting a little bit stronger and gustier, but warming us up a little more so, 17 degrees. So suddenly, as early as tomorrow, we're back up to above seasonal temperatures, and that's where we're going to stay throughout the rest of this week, rolling into the weekend, even with some low 20s on tap. But then on Sunday, expect some showers and a slight cool down after that.
All right, let's go now to Joseph Bernacki, who is live with Hood and Dagger Theater Production. We're hearing about a spooky story. It's a classic, in fact. Good morning.
It certainly is, Rochelle. Good morning, and good morning, Winnipeg. If you're just joining us, very pleased to be joined by Jonathan Mitchell and Daniel Turon, two of the cast that have helped make this production possible. Gentlemen, pleasure to have you on our show.
Pleasure to be here.
Yeah, so Jonathan, we saw you earlier on in the 6 o'clock hour. You were in the background at this chess table here. Talk to us about Dr. Montague. What's it like playing the title character?
We have a lot in common. Both of us are, he's a professor, I'm an instructor at RRC Polytech, so I've got that in common. We're also foodies, and that's helpful too.
You haven't done this, you were saying before we were live, for almost 20 years. What's it like stepping back into the spotlight?
It's kind of surreal in some ways. It's really been a great experience, though, and with a great crew. I couldn't ask for a better cast and crew to work with.
And Daniel, you're playing the character Luke. What's that experience been like, jumping in since doing some theater in university?
Yeah, it's been awesome. I did a little bit of theater in university. That's the only experience I've had. So I saw the audition posting on Facebook and thought I'd give it a try. And yeah, I'm super happy. Had so much fun. Everyone is so nice. So it's been great to do something for the first time outside the university.
Cool. Well, a couple of the actors who were in my previous segment are now going to do a scene for us here. We're going to show that here. So cast, I'll get you guys to take it away. Go ahead.
Here it is, Arthur. You read the questions. I'll read the answers.
Off we go. Now then, let me see. Start right about here.
Yes, with who are you?
Check. Who are you?
Nell.
Nell who?
Eleanor, Nellie, Nell. They do that sometimes. Repeat a word over and over again, just to make sure it comes across all right. Arthur.
What do you want?
Home.
Do you want to go home?
Want to be home.
What are you doing here?
Waiting.
Waiting for what?
Home.
There it is again. If they like a word, they use it over and over just for the sound of it.
Ordinarily, we never ask why. It tends to confuse Planchette, but this time we were bold and came straight out with it. Arthur.
Why?
Mother.
Is Hill House your home?
Home.
Are you suffering?
No answer here. Sometimes they dislike admitting to pain.
Stoical. Can we help you?
No. Lost. You see one word, repeat it again. That one word go on to cover a whole page sometimes.
What do you want?
Mother.
Why?
Child.
Where is your mother?
Lost home.
Winnipeggers might be able to ride a night bus once again. The Public Service wants to expand weekday transit hours to 2 a.m. and stretch weekend and holiday hours to 12:45 a.m. The plan is to roll out the service in 2 phases starting mid-December. Phase 1 would use transit on request to fill the gap. Then in April, some existing routes will run until well into the night. Public Works expects the changes to cost $562,000 for the first year. This will be discussed during Tuesday's Public Works Committee meeting. The October 7th memorial siren rang out across Israel this morning, marking 2 years since the attacks. In Jerusalem, families of hostages took a pause for the siren as they called for the return of their loved ones. 251 people were taken hostage by Hamas. Since then, 148 hostages have been returned alive to Israel. 20 people are still thought to be alive and still in Gaza. The surprise attacks from Hamas 2 years ago also killed about 1,200 people. The Israeli military campaign that followed has killed more than 67,000 Palestinians, according to the Hamas-run Gaza Health Ministry. Talks aimed at a possible ceasefire are set to resume in Egypt today. The U.S. government shutdown is now causing major flight delays. A dozen Federal Aviation Administration facilities are dealing with staffing shortages. It means a lack of air traffic controllers and delays at major airports, including several major Midwest and East Coast hubs. In California, it got so bad that the control tower at the Hollywood Burbank Airport had to shut down because no controllers were in place. Officials say the staff shortages are a direct result of the shutdown. Did you catch a glimpse of it? October's full harvest moon was shining bright overnight. The moon was the first of 3 back-to-back supermoons that will happen this year. A supermoon occurs when the moon reaches its nearest point to our planet, making it appear larger and fuller. The next supermoon is called the Beaver Moon. It's set to happen on November the 5th. Let's see who's celebrating a milestone today. Happy 7th birthday, Sahara. Hope you have the best day ever. Love Mommy, Daddy, Kenneth, Calix, Solara, and the rest of the family. Happy 16th birthday, Carter. Love from Mom and Dad, Leland, baby sister Nevea, Nana and Papa, Cuckoo, and all your aunties, uncles, and cousins. And a happy, blessed 20th birthday to Aiden. Love from your family, Mom, Dad, and Jacob. To submit your milestone, visit our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, and fill out the form at least 2 days in advance. It'll also enter you into our monthly contest for a chance to win a $100 gift certificate to Party Stuff.
Milestones is brought to you by Party Stuff. 3 Winnipeg locations and at partystuff.ca. Weather is brought to you by Canadian Footwear, helping you find the perfect fit.
All right, so here's a look at the Almanac, and today's high is going to be 9 degrees. Now, a normal high this time of year would be around 13. We're not going to get there today. We surpassed that number last year, getting up to 17.8 degrees. But in 1920, that was the warmest day that we've ever had for October 7th. Managed to make it up to 28 degrees. We're not going to be seeing those kind of temperatures, but we will get warmer weather after today. Today will probably be the coolest of the week, and then it will be warming up tomorrow and through the rest of the week. We're actually going to be back up above seasonal, but that's just not going to be the case today. The sun is up now. It's looking gorgeous, clear and bright. It is a little bit cool, though. We're sitting at -2 right now with winds out of the west, 13 kilometers per hour. The pressure rising and the humidity is sitting at 95%. Get the sunglasses out. You'll still want the extra layers on. Eventually you'll, eventually you'll ditch those extra layers, but maybe not today, because 9 degrees we just talked about. That's going to be as warm as it gets today. 13 being normal for this time of year. We will see plenty of sunshine. Certainly that's the case already through southern Manitoba and along the western border, east central Manitoba, northeastern Manitoba. A few extra clouds this morning, maybe even a bit of precipitation tucked in there. And with these cool temperatures, you may see a flake of snow changing to showers. But eventually, even those clouds will be clearing out and all of us will enjoy the sunshine throughout the afternoon today. And tomorrow we'll enjoy not just the sunshine, but warmer temps to go with it.
On a warm fall day last month, a retired social worker set up a table and 2 chairs at the entrance to the Forks Market. He put up a sign. It said, "You are not alone, I will listen." It was part of a cross-country journey of sorts that aims to offer connection in an increasingly polarized world. Paul Jenkinson, the man behind the movement, joins us now to share more. Such an interesting idea. Good morning, Paul.
Yes, good morning.
How did this all start?
Yes, well, I'm not sure it's a movement yet, but it started with the observation that post-COVID, people were having a hard time re-entering society, and it also started with a self-reflection. I was 70 at the time. I turned 71 on this journey. And I thought I could become somewhat invisible. I'm an older man. On the other hand, I have 40 years of social work experience, 2 degrees. I've had joy and sorrow in my own life, and I thought I had something to offer. So if I was going to do that, maybe I could combine a grand adventure at the same time.
And now you're on a cross-country tour. You're offering a sympathetic ear to folks all over the country. Where have you gone so far, and what sort of response do you get?
Yes, so I have been, I started in Nova Scotia, so I've been in every province other than Newfoundland. So I will go back across the country in 2026. Yeah, so I've been in 6 provinces, and people have 3 different, 4. Some people are just so busy, so focused, they go right by, they don't even see that I'm there. Others go by and give a thumbs up and a heart and love what you're doing, and they're just encouraged by the sign itself. You're not alone, I will listen. And then others come and stand at the table, and they may have a full opportunity to share joys and sorrows without ever sitting down. And then there are the people who come and sit right away, and we turn the chairs kind of toward each other, and they will often stay longer. And they may be still sharing joyful things. There's a lot of laughter that comes from that little place, but also some sad things.
Well, I was going to ask you, obviously the laughter is the best part, but you must also be hearing some really sad and touching moments from some of these individuals. What's one of the most memorable conversations or interactions you've had?
Well, I think one of the most memorable, and it talks about the polarization, was a fellow who swooped in on Canada Day and said, "You mother effers from the East, you think you know everything." And he went on to, I could have risen to that flag that he put up, the flag posts, but I thought that I don't do that. So I listened longer. And actually what he was telling was that his parents had worked hard, that they had sacrificed, that they had sent him to school. They hadn't taken any vacations. And he had graduated and now he didn't have a job. And he blamed it on the next wave of immigrants.
Right.
And I said to him, George, I said, if I needed a son, you'd be the son that I would want to have. I said, I have a son. But if I needed one. And because you have a deep love for your parents, you're honoring their sacrifice, you care that they cared that much, you want to succeed, you want to fulfill their dreams. And then a tear rolled down his eyes.
Beautiful.
And so,
well, Paul, thank you for sharing this with us, and good luck on your journey.
Sure.
Definitely make a stop into our studio the next time you're in Winnipeg. We'd love to meet you in person.
Wonderful. Thank you for having me and speaking about the journey.
Good luck.
Hi, everyone. Mark Rowe inside the Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Monday in Fort. We head to Jacksonville. Chiefs taking on the Jaguars. Patrick Mahomes with second and goal here. Chance to break a 14-14 tie, but he's picked off at the 1-yard line by Devin Lloyd. Mahomes tries to tackle him, but misses. And from there, Lloyd turns upfield. Juju Smith-Schuster and Tyquan Thornton chasing him down, but running out of gas. And he gets into the end zone for the pick six, a 99-yard interception return to give the Jags the lead and would eventually win by 3. His 4th pick of the year, which leads the NFL. Lloyd has your must-see moment from Monday. And tonight on TSN, we have the FIFA Under-20 World Cup round of 16. Chile taking on Mexico. Kickoff at 5:30 Central. That's all from the Sports Center newsroom. Have a great day.
The TSN must-see moment is brought to you by Super Blinds and Draperies, featuring Hunter Douglas products.
It's Tuesday, October 7th. Today, some Winnipeg drivers awake to find their cars removed when signage was changed while they were sleeping. Ottawa's new budget scheduling strategy with detailed spending and revenue plans now coming in fall with economic updates in the spring. And pop goes the soda. A bubbling new reality TV beverage trend adds a twist of this and that to favorite soft drinks. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, Manitoba. Happy Tuesday. It looks like fall. It feels like fall. And so we're going to talk about your fall wardrobe and how you can go into your closet and pick some old pieces and make them fresh and new all over again.
It's my favorite time of year.
Yes, and I noticed you had your scarf today. My boots are back. It feels like fall out there.
Got the wool jacket, all of that, because yes, it's cool out there this morning. -2, but let's roll around and show you that sunshine looking gorgeous as it's rising over the city. It takes a sweet time these days. Didn't get up until 7:37, but there it is looking good, showing off our dirty camera. Winds out of the west at 13 kilometers per hour. The pressure rising, the humidity sitting at 95%. So take your sunglasses with you along with those extra layers. You can see where it's so clear all across southern Manitoba and along this western border with just a few extra clouds in that northeastern and east central. Northeastern Manitoba already going to be clearing out first. East Central is where there's going to maybe be a little bit of precipitation, the possibility of some flurries or some showers tucked in there. But even there, things will eventually clear off as it all pushes off to the east. And then sunny conditions expected throughout the province. Northern Manitoba, things will start to change. You're going to see some heavier clouds moving in overnight and a bit more precipitation that'll take you through Wednesday. It's going to be rolling along that most northern border and then into the northeast, whereas central and southern Manitoba conditions will remain pretty clear for the next stretch of days. The rest of this week, in fact, and today will be the last of the cooler days because after this, temperatures are back up above seasonal. 13 degrees being normal for this time of year. We could even get into the low 20s as we're rolling into the long weekend, and then some rain on Sunday and a cool down on the other side of that. Bingo! Thank you, Lincoln. I love what you've done here. The rainbow for us, perfect. It's a beautiful one, and we'd love to see more of your art. So please draw color paint. Send it to us to winnipegweather@ctv.ca.
Residents in one Winnipeg neighborhood are still dealing with some repercussions after finding their vehicles had been towed overnight.
Usually they do a courtesy tow, but they impounded and gave me a ticket. It was $350.
Trisha Brock parked on Home Street this past May and awoke to find the city had towed her vehicle away. Brock and some other residents had parked according to a sign that read no parking Thursday, but overnight it was changed to no parking Wednesday. Leo Capallo actually saw his car being towed and attempted to flag the driver.
So I sprint down the block, truck turns a corner, I turn a corner. It turns another corner, I turn another corner. Finally, he sees me waving him down in his rearview mirror and stops.
Capallo contested his ticket and the fine was eventually reduced to $0. However, he hasn't been reimbursed for the cost of the tow. Trisha Brock never got a cent back. Capallo reached out to the Winnipeg Parking Authority to try and get the tow refunded. He was denied. A city spokesperson tells CTV News they're going to need more time to investigate this further. Federal budgets will now be released in the fall instead of the spring.
We're going to provide more predictability, I would say, for provinces and territories. I've been talking to them, businesses and organizations that rely on federal funding.
And that will start with the upcoming November 4th budget. The economic and fiscal updates will now come in the spring, closer to the start of the fiscal year on April 1st. The budget is also set to introduce a separation between operating and capital spending. Ottawa says the change is aimed at reviving stalled business investment and focus on how federal dollars contribute to long-term economic resilience. The changes come after the interim parliamentary budget officer estimates that Canada's deficit will grow to $68.7 billion this year. The government plans to balance the operational budget in 3 years. Here's a look now at what's happening in traffic on Donald Street. It looks like there's slow moving over in this part. They are really stuck at a red light though, so that could be explaining what we're seeing here, but be mindful of that as you head out this morning. If you see any problems on the streets, text them to us please at 10400.
Traffic is brought to you by Curtis Carpets, Manitoba's flooring experts.
Let's go back now to Joseph Bernacki. We've been talking about Hood and Dagger Productions and their spooky story that they're telling this season. It's The Haunting of Hill House. Good morning.
Good morning, Rochelle. Yeah, this has been a great morning so far. So fun to get to spend time with the cast this morning. Very pleased to be joined by Raquel Camelgo to my left and to my right, Renelle Chartier. Ladies, it's a pleasure to have you on our show this morning.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah. Renelle, I understand the set design is based off of a place in Winnipeg that many of our CTV viewers are familiar with. Can you tell us what it's inspired by?
Yeah, so the set design is largely inspired by Delnavert Museum, which is a place that much of the cast and crew has had the pleasure of going to visit to gain a little bit of inspiration and also to take some photos pre-show.
We go there a few times throughout our morning show. Such a great place to visit. How exciting has it been to see this set come to life?
This has been one of the most exciting sets I think I've seen come together. There's a lot of hidden gems, a lot of little secrets that our viewers will see throughout the show. It's been, yeah, very exciting and very different.
And Raquel, tell us a little bit about the character you play in the production.
I play Mrs. Dudley, and she takes care of Hill House and has done so for many, many years. And she's a little bit of the spooky housekeeper that everyone's scared of.
Pretty cool to see people come from all walks of life for community theater.
Yes, it is, definitely. So if somebody is thinking of auditioning or joining the community theater or volunteering, Hood and Dagger would definitely be a good place to start.
All right, well, we're going to see a scene now. Ladies are going to take it away, and we'll step aside, and here we go for The Haunting of Hill House.
Have you seen this? Dr. Montague says it's a scrapbook that Hugh Crane put together for his children, for their education and enlightenment of all things.
Good heavens, for children?
He must have drawn it himself. The last page is the nicest, I think. He signed it in his own blood. Want to see it?
No, thank you.
No, it's really quite edifying. Something about sacred pacts being written in blood and words to his daughters about living virtuously and being preserved from the pitfalls of this world. In blood. Can you believe it?
He must have enjoyed it, signing his name in his own blood.
Not exactly healthy work for a grown man.
But they must have been very small when their father left Hill House. The girls, I mean.
Your morning just got a whole lot richer. We're giving away a staggering $20,000. Imagine what you could do with an extra 20 grand. A dream vacation, home renovations, paying off bills. The possibilities are endless. Today's code word is BRIGHT. Head to the contest page on ctvwinnipeg.ca or scan the QR code on your screen. Enter the code word BRIGHT with your info for your chance to win CTV Your Morning Winnipeg's $20,000 giveaway. Tune in tomorrow for another code word. Good luck. It's hard to beat a tall, cold glass of pop or whatever your drink of choice is on a hot summer day. But some feel there's room for improvement through adding creamers, flavor shots, and more. CTV's Frugine Declute has more on a drink that's gaining popularity in Saskatchewan.
A new twist on pop took the United States by storm when it was featured in a hit reality TV show last fall. It didn't take long before dirty soda bubbled its way into Saskatchewan.
It's definitely a sweet treat. Like, you can curate to what flavors you want in it, and it's a little bit something special, you know, a lighter snack than ice cream.
At Trans Mercantile in Moosomin, the viral sensation has been a hit since opening their shop in May.
It's a vendor collective, so we have a little bit of local artisans and people that love to make things, and we love to showcase them. So we have that, and then a cafe and some dirty sodas, and, you know, definitely a sip and shop kind of place.
Dessert Sweets in Regina also added the carbonated concoctions to their menu in May, and business was bubbling all summer long. But what is dirty soda exactly? And what makes it, well, dirty?
So dirty soda is you start with soda, or we have Alani's as well, and Red Bull sodas as well, and you add like syrups and or cream to them.
The drink was spearheaded by the Mormon community due to their religion's restriction on alcohol. But it's a nice refreshment for others as well.
If your provider's doing it right, there's diet pop and diet syrup options, and diabetics can get a soda, or lactose-free people can get a dirty soda. It's can be inclusive if you want it to be.
Owners we spoke to agree that it's a pop culture phenomenon.
I think we were so excited to bring it in because, like, we kind of think that now with like the 25-year-old under crowd, coffee's like kind of out, I guess.
And the flavor combinations are endless, some of the most popular being...
Well, probably the Dr. P's recipe, which is a Dr. Pepper, grenadine, and then we use True Lime packages.
Our most popular flavor is definitely the OG, so it's going to be coconut, vanilla, and cream in Dr. Pepper.
And just because summer is over, it doesn't mean dirty sodas are going away anytime soon.
But this is something that is so fun, and there's so many combinations that we can do, that we'll do seasonal ones, and we'll have them year-round.
So you can get the dirt whenever the craving strikes. Frugina Declute, CTV News, Yorkton.
All right, we're looking now through the Bathfitter Live Eye. Bathfitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years. It is gorgeous, clear out there. Don't be fooled just looking out the window, though. Throw that extra layer on. It's clear and cold with these temperatures. Cooler than you'd expect for this time of year. For example, 1 degree +1, that would be a normal low temp here through southern Manitoba. And while we are still just above the freezing mark in areas off to the east of us, here in Winnipeg, we're sitting at -2. A couple of places right at the freezing mark, but a few places all through the southwestern part of the province that are several degrees, not just below seasonal, but below the freezing mark. Now, clear conditions also tend to mean that it's going to be a little bit colder, but clear means you're going to see plenty of sunshine. So while it's going to be a little bit cooler first thing in the morning, that sun will be able to warm you up as the day goes on. And you should be getting up into the high single digits eventually here along that northwestern border. Northeastern Manitoba, you're staying above the freezing mark this morning. Just barely, but you're only going to gain a few degrees through the day. Heavier clouds still hanging around through the northeast and east central Manitoba, but those will be clearing as the day goes on. We're already on the clearer side. We might see a few clouds midday, but the temperatures will struggle to hit seasonal today. 0 degrees as kids are getting settled into the classroom, 6 degrees throughout the lunch period, and only climbing another couple by the time they're coming home, with 8 degrees expected after school, 9 our high total for today. So 13 degrees. That would be normal for this time of year. We're not going to hit it today, but we will surpass it as early as tomorrow and stay above seasonal throughout the rest of the week. Plenty of sunshine. Sunday, maybe not as sunny. We could be getting some rain, and on the other side, those temperatures dropping off a little bit. We're taking a break right now, but we'll be back with Your Morning Winnipeg.
It is shaping up to be a mixed day on the markets. Gold coming up just shy of the $4,000 U.S. mark, announced at $39.77, but has since pulled back and is trading lower today. A strengthening U.S. dollar getting some of the credit as it gained for a second day. European stock markets having a flat day in the wake of the resignation of the French Prime Minister. The stock 600 is unchanged, and France's CAC 40 erased early losses as the French president, Emmanuel Macron, tries to salvage the government there. European truck makers like Volvo and Daimler taking hits in the wake of the news that Trump was imposing a 25% tariff on medium and heavy-duty trucks. It's earnings season south of the border, and cost of living and weight loss pressures may be hitting food and beverage companies in the gut. Constellation reporting a 15% drop in revenue as people make decisions based on their wallet and their health. Those are your morning business headlines. For BNN Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
It's fall, and if you are looking to update your look with those fall outfits, you don't have to spend a lot of money to get that fresh fall look. You just have to look inside your closet and see what you already own to create fall outfits that are both functional and stylish. Joining us now to tell us more on how to update our fall wardrobe, maybe introduce a capsule collection, is the owner of Must Have Pockets Apparel, Leanne Ryan. Leanne, thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks so much for having me.
Fall is like such an exciting time fashion-wise. It feels like a refresh. We're looking to try some new things, and the trends this year have been all about falling back.
100%. Yeah, we've seen a lot of 80s, 90s, even 70s resurgence, which is all fun and great. And I think that's where you can definitely go back into your closet. So for example, I think denim is always a great staple, and most people have a lot of denim in their wardrobe. And so the trend back in the 90s was heavy on the denim, and now there's like denim skirts, denim shirts, like all
the
those
Western
things.
style.
The Western-ish, like it's a Western flair, but even something like this in the pencil skirt, you can definitely take a look up. So denim is back, but it has never really gone away, but it's back even stronger.
There's always different ways to rewear.
Exactly.
70s vibes, even 80s, you say.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so for the kind of back to the 70s vibes, when we're looking at denim, we're looking at wide leg, high rise. And so it's a really great way to add something different into your denim wardrobe. So I'm actually wearing as well a wide leg pleated high-rise jean, and so I know pleats are pretty scary for a lot of ladies, but they're coming back in. They don't have to be. They can be in a really elegant dress pant, and it doesn't mean they're for everybody. It just means, again, adding a slightly different style into your already existing fall capsule wardrobe.
I think we always kind of shop the same pieces for ourselves over and over again, but the thing is, if we push ourselves a little bit out of our comfort zone, I never used to wear wide leg pants. That's all I wear now.
I know. And that's the thing I try to challenge my ladies is just try things on. It doesn't cost you anything, and it just really helps elevate your personal style so that you're not always just in that same look that people are like, oh, she wears nothing but skinny jeans.
The other thing I hear all the time now is a capsule wardrobe. The idea of a very set of cohesive pieces to make getting ready for work every day, for school, whatever the case may be, that little bit easier. And you've kind of got something going on here. All these pieces go together great.
Yeah, we do a lot of neutrals in the store, and that's so you can integrate the things that you buy at the store into your wardrobe. And making a capsule wardrobe is easier that way because it's more neutrals, and then adding your own flair with accessories.
Well, I'm looking at this kind of set right here.
Yeah.
The gray. Oh yeah, and
this guy.
Yeah, super
So
nice.
this is actually from MPG, which is a company located here in the city. And so the whole matchy-matchy set has been a huge trend. And so ladies love this for travel, but the best part about it is that you split it and then you wear it with other things. So say you love these pants and then you want to add the shirt. Maybe you do a t-shirt underneath this and wear it open. And again, that's the idea of getting more use out of your capsule wardrobe and not just being stuck in this is the pieces that have to be worn together. you can separate them.
And last but not least, it is fall. We're remiss if we don't talk about these sweaters.
Beautiful
finally
sweaters.
It's sweater weather here.
Exactly. Well, and animal prints are really big right now. So you can see I'm wearing an animal print. We have a little bit of a zebra flare here, and leopard has been really hot. And again, some people kind of associate these as being dated, but I think if you're potentially buying something new, there's a lot of elevation, something different there in terms of the styling.
Well, and the little bows too are really
Exactly.
current, right? It brings it into today.
Exactly.
Well, this is all great inspo, but some folks might not be able to shop their wardrobe. If they're loving what they're seeing, they want to get that throwback. How can they check you out and come shop the line in person?
Musthavepockets.ca, and I'm located at 1510 St. Mary's.
Wonderful. Thanks so much for being with us.
Thanks so much for having me.
All right, just a little bit of a breeze, enough that I'm trying to keep the hairs out of my face, but it's beautiful, clear, blue sky above, and a lovely start to your day if you're properly dressed. If you're not properly dressed, you're gonna be out here being like, oh, it's so cold. I would have been saying that too, but instead I reached for the extra layer. I even grabbed my gloves today, and I'm glad that I did. -1 is where we're sitting right now. That is up though from our coolest temperature of -2, so we're making those improvements, and we'll continue to do so throughout the day, especially with all of this sunshine. West winds are 16 kilometers per hour, the pressure rising, the humidity sitting at 94%. And yes, today will be on the cooler side. Even once we're reaching those expected highs, we're probably not even going to hit double digits here in Winnipeg, topping out at about 9 degrees, when 13 is normal for this time of year. We'll see similar temperatures around the province in the high single digits. Southwestern Manitoba might make it into the double digits, but barely. And then there's northern Manitoba, who will enjoy a mix of sun and cloud today, but your temperatures are more likely to be in the mid to high single digits. Now, tomorrow, things warm up a little more. We're back up above seasonal, and that's how we'll spend the rest of this week, in the mid to high teens. We might even roll on into the weekend, hitting low 20s by Saturday. Sunday, expect more rain and a cool down just after that. But more rain always means a rainbow. Thanks for the beautiful full rainbow that Missy captured out in the Ebb and Flow First Nation area. Keep the pictures coming, please, to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
Weather is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. Open late, ready when you are.
Calling all cat lovers, an event coming to Winnipeg this weekend is a massive celebration of our beloved feline friends. From cat furniture to treats to feline fashion, it'll all be on display at Meow Mania Expo. Joining us now to share more about the event is Sabrina Nayan. Good morning, Sabrina.
Good morning.
I like your ears. You look ready for the event itself.
You need to be on brand.
Yes, it looks good. Now tell us a little bit about Meow Mania, what it's all about.
Yeah, so it's a paradise for cat lovers, honestly. If you're a proud cat parent or you just love cats, it's the place you'll want to be. It's a feline-centric market and adoption fair.
Okay, and so there's all kinds of fun activities happening there.
Yes.
So for someone who maybe wants to have a cat, it's a good spot for that too.
Yes, yeah, and there'll be lots of cats there to interact with. We'll have our feline-centric market, so all of our vendors are going to have cat-themed items, either for their cats or cat-themed merch for themselves or their home. Our rescues are going to be there. We'll have 7 rescues. They'll all have cats available for adoption. Our local feline celebrities, of course, will be there for meet and greets. We'll have a mini stage for speaker presentations. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Okay, so this whole thing started about 3 years ago, right?
1 year. So last year,
but you've
September.
had 3 events.
We've had 3 events, yes.
And it was way bigger than you thought.
Way bigger. The cat community, it's huge in Winnipeg.
Okay, so why do you think that is?
You know, I just don't think we have enough feline-centric events happening in the city. Everything is very geared towards dogs and dog lovers or pets in general. So I think it was really exciting to bring a feline-focused event to Winnipeg.
So the first time you did it, you had it at a community center.
Yes.
And you were surprised by the sheer number of people that showed up.
We were shocked. People were lining up an hour early to get in. We had over 1,000 people come out to our first event.
Wow. So then you had to expand and go to a bigger venue, which you are this time.
Yes.
Tell us about the venue itself and why it's a better fit.
Yeah, so we're going to be at Assiniboia Downs this time around. So much bigger event, so people don't feel as squished shoulder to shoulder. Much more parking available as well. And yeah, I think we're able to like bring in some new things. So instead of just a market and adoption fair, we have our speaker stage, you know, photo booth, more rescues to see, more cats to see.
Yeah. So what sort of topics will they be discussing on stage?
So we have someone from Candor Cats. She'll be talking about feline behavior, how to make them happier in the home. Central Vet will be there talking about their certified feline friendly practice and how to make vet visits a little bit more friendlier. We'll have our pet photographer there talking about how to get more quality out of your quantity on your cell phone. And St. Jean Hearts for Strays will also be there talking about TNR efforts.
See, these are all topics people care about, right?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, so the actual adoption fair that is also happening, it supports 7 different rescues that, and we know that they're struggling right now to, they have a lot of cats, they have a lot of, you know, lack of food because it's so expensive. What do you want people to know about that part?
So our 7 rescues will be there. They'll all have cats looking for homes, of course, but they're also doing their own fundraising sales, and we'll also have a raffle there too. So our silent auction raffle, 100% of the proceeds will be splitting up and dividing between all the rescues in attendance there as a way to like give back.
So pets are welcome. Bring your cats. Do all
cats are welcome. We want to keep the dogs at home. No dogs.
It's not going to be friendly if the dogs are there.
But yeah, well socialized cats are welcome to attend. People have strollers, bags, leashes. So.
And this is happening this weekend at Assiniboia Downs.
This Saturday.
Okay, if you want more information, we have a link on our website. Thanks, Sabrina.
Thank you.
Your Morning Winnipeg. Coffee is brought to you by Robin's Donuts, your favorite stop.
Beautiful and clear out there this morning. It is a little bit cool, so throw those extra layers on and grab the sunglasses before you head out of the house. -1 right now with a west wind at 16 kilometers per hour. The pressure is rising and the humidity is sitting at 94%. Look at that blue sky though. Gorgeous, isn't it? We'll enjoy it throughout the day today. Some places might be seeing still a few extra clouds this morning. East central Manitoba up into the northeast, but even those clouds will continue to clear through the day. And then all of us soaking up the sunshine, which is better than getting soaked as we did over the weekend. In fact, the most part of this week will be spent with dry conditions, plenty of sunshine, and eventually some heat, just not today. Today, you're going to need those extra layers for the warmth because we're probably going to top out at 9 degrees, which keeps us well below seasonal. 13, that would be a normal daytime high. So we're not even going to get into the double digits for today. We'll deal with a bit of a breeze out of the northwest at about 20 clicks or so, and that breeze shifting out of the southwest overnight as we drop down to 2 degrees. That's warmer than this past night was and sets us up for a much warmer day. Still plenty of sunshine is expected for tomorrow, and not just pushing to the seasonal 13 degrees, but surpassing it up to 17 with much stronger winds out of the south expected. Now, we'll then spend the rest of this week with above seasonal temperatures, plenty of sunshine, and even getting into the low 20s as we're moving on into the long weekend. But heavier clouds and a round of rain on Sunday. And on the other side of that, for Thanksgiving Day or Holiday Monday, you can expect to see those temperatures cooling down again.
Prime Minister Mark Carney will meet with U.S. President Donald Trump today at the White House.
The conversation will center on trade issues and what we want to do to protect Canadian industries and Canadian workers.
Prime Minister Carney is expected to push U.S. President Trump for some tariff relief before CUSMA becomes under review next year. We did find out last night that Energy Minister Tim Hodgson will be part of the delegation, suggesting natural resources will be part of the talks. This is Prime Minister Carney's second visit to the Oval Office in less than 6 months. A first-of-its-kind addiction clinic is offering culturally safe and accessible services to urban and remote communities. The Mobile Action Network Clinic officially opened Monday on Ellis Avenue. It serves as a hub connecting remote Island Lakes communities to address urgent mental health and addiction needs. The model uses peers with lived experience, Indigenous leadership, and healthcare providers to deliver services that meet people where they live.
This population needs to be able to access services at home. Everybody should be able to access any healthcare services at home, but specifically when it comes to addictions and mental health, that's vitally important, and it is life-changing and life-saving.
Manitoba continues to see some of the highest opioid and alcohol-related death rates in Canada. More than half of those seeking urgent services identify as Indigenous. In an historic first, renewable energy is now the world's leading source of electricity.
This indicates that fossil fuels no longer need to grow to meet our appetite for electricity.
According to new analysis, worldwide solar and wind power generation increased faster than the growth of electricity demand in the first 6 months of the year. It also shows renewable energy sources are expanding fast enough to meet global increases in power needs. The report released by energy think tank Ember also found that for the first time, renewable energy sources generated more power than coal. We're learning more about what we can expect at the upcoming Grey Cup Festival. More than 900 Manitoba schools are getting flag football kits. It includes footballs, flags, and a curriculum plan thanks to a partnership with Football Manitoba and the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. And the Grey Cup Trophy is taking a road trip to spotlight northern culture and attractions. Stops in Flin Flon, Thompson, and Churchill are scheduled. The 112th Grey Cup game takes place Sunday, November 16th at Princess Auto Stadium. The 2025 Grey Cup Festival takes place the week before. A mystery lurks at the bottom of the Red River in Selkirk. Several vehicles are submerged there, and a local salvage company is trying to bring some answers to the surface. CTV's Danton Unger was on the riverbank Monday as one of those vehicles was pulled up.
Emerging from the murky depths of the Red River, this truck has been returned to dry land. All part of a cleanup and salvage effort by Submerged Underwater Services.
I'm pretty sure whoever used to own this probably doesn't want it back.
Sean Gertson says his team came across the truck using sonar during a training exercise, but on Monday, when they dove down to pull it up, they discovered there was a lot more than they first thought.
When you look at the sonar, it looked like 3, maybe 4. As it is right now, I don't know. I mean, there could be 7, could be 8.
Getting them out is no easy task. A diver has to swim 23 feet down and attach these massive airbags to the vehicle. A crane is then able to hoist it from the water. For this truck alone, the process took hours.
It was just really difficult because, again, everything was buried up past the wheels.
As for how it ended up in the river, Gertson says that's for the police to determine. Officers were on site Monday running the truck's license plate and VIN number to see if it's connected to any crimes or MPI reports.
For whatever reason, it's still a crime that these are in the drink, right? So they just got to figure out what, why, and how, and so on and so forth.
This is all welcome news for local fishers.
Besides all oil and gas in there, and people are fishing here and they're getting snagged all the time.
Hopefully it'll make a difference, hopefully, and hopefully people don't do it again.
For Gertson, he says he's happy to be doing his part to clean up the Red River, one submerged vehicle at a time.
At some point, someone has to do something and go recover this stuff and do something about it. So, you know, might as well be us.
Danton Unger, CTV News, Selkirk.
Here's a look at the current traffic situation now on the St. James Bridge. Things are moving well here. It's a gorgeous start to your Tuesday morning. If you have any traffic tips to share with us, please text them at 10400. And here's a look at your gas prices. The Canadian average is $1.33. The provincial average is at $1.28. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.27, and the lowest price in Winnipeg is $1.20. All this info is on gasbuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your card today.
For our question of the day, we wanted to know what's your go-to fall fashion must-have. Jocelyn's fall fashion must-have is her puffer vest. Marlene's go-to for fall is a 3/4 length leopard coat, bluestone boots, cozy sweaters, and a bigger purse. Thank you for your responses. Let's go now to Joseph Bernacki. We've been hearing about theater this morning and seeing the spooky production put on by Hood and Dagger. Good morning.
Good morning, Rochelle, and good morning, Manitoba. If you're just joining us, a great production that's going to be starting October 23rd. I've been with almost the entire cast this morning. I'm very pleased to be joined by Rebecca Watson and Lysander Brandt. Ladies, it's a pleasure to have you on our show this morning. This has been great.
Pleasure to be here. Thanks for having us.
Rebecca, this is the second time I understand you've taken a part in a Hood and Dagger production. What's it like? How much fun is community theater?
Oh, it's so much fun. Yeah, the first audition I did for the last season 1 show, which was Gossip, I was just kind of doing it for the experience of doing an audition. And so getting to actually be a part of a cast and stuff and getting to go that much further with being able to get to know people and create a story and be on stage, it's really enjoyable. And they're such a supportive group here.
You've got a show, of course, that's fit for Halloween in just a few weeks' time. What's the rehearsals been like in the lead up to all of this?
Oh, so busy, but so good. Yeah, we're loving it. It's great getting to know everybody and getting more in depth into the scenes. The story of Hill House is a book that I read about a decade ago and I'm very passionate about, so I was thrilled to see it was going to be on the roster for season 2.
And Lysander, we've seen you both in the last couple scenes here on our morning show. What's this whole production been like for you?
It's been really exciting. It's my first show that's kind of like outside of like school-related stuff, and so we can kind of just go bigger with the sets and with the crew and everything. And it's been really great seeing that start to happen in rehearsal and stuff, and bringing in all our little secrets.
Hey, it's been a pleasure to meet the entire cast this morning. We've got one more scene we're going to show. I'm going to step away off to the side. Ladies, go ahead and show us the production.
What are you saying? What does it mean? Oh, thank heavens someone else has come. I mean, I was beginning to feel a bit remote here. I'm Eleanor Vance.
How do you do? And please don't apologize. This bloody house. 2 minutes and it's already given me the cold chills. I'm Theodora. Just Theodora.
Well, welcome to Hill House. I'd guess this used to be the embalming room. I hate to think what it's like upstairs.
It's a place I've always dreamed of. A little hideaway where I can be alone with my thoughts, particularly if they happen to be about murder.
You'll all be in the green room.
Oh?
Do you want to go up now or wait here?
Well, since you put it so graciously, I think I'll wait here a while if Eleanor doesn't object.
Suit yourself, but I'd get settled before dark if I were you. I leave then, so there won't be anyone around if you need help.
Charming soul.
She walks without making a sound.
What?
That was a good warning. All right, out on the rooftop now. It's sunny there.
It is sunny, but it hasn't really warmed up much, and I'm really glad that I got the extra layer on, because I was just thinking about it. I'm like, I'm going to be walking home, and we're still going to be sitting around the freezing mark when I'm doing that. FYI, I'm leaving right away. Anyway, -1 is where we're sitting right now. We will make some gains. If you're going out for a walk much later today, I'm sure we'll be well above freezing. Anyway, it's clear out here right now. I do have my sunglasses with me. You'll need them today because it's going to be so beautiful and bright. It's just not going to warm us up much. We've got a bit of a breeze out of the west, 16 kilometers per hour. The pressure is rising and the humidity is sitting at 94%. Sunshine across the province. Some places are seeing a few extra clouds first thing, like east central Manitoba, northeastern Manitoba, a few extra clouds lingering there as well. But even as the day goes on, by midday, you too will be soaking up the sunshine. It's just that nobody is really going to be feeling a lot of warmth today. Many of us will struggle to even hit seasonal values. And in fact, here in Winnipeg, we might not even get to double digits, never mind a normal daytime high of 13 degrees. But after this, everything looks better for the rest of this week, and into the weekend, we're looking at above seasonal temperatures. Plenty of sunshine. The conditions will remain very clear for us all throughout this week. Next round of precipitation probably won't be until Sunday, and with that precipitation, which will be in liquid form, by the way, because we're rolling into the weekend with the above seasonal temperatures. But Sunday, some rain is expected, and holiday Monday, things might cool on the other side of that rain. We're taking a break right now, but stick around. We'll be back in just a moment with Your Morning Winnipeg.
Weather is brought to you by Garage Masters, your complete garage specialists.
Have a news tip? When you see news happening, let CTV News Winnipeg know. Text your tips, pictures, and videos to 10400. That's 10400. Message and data rates may apply.
Cosmetics with added SPF may seem like a convenient shortcut in your beauty routine, but the American Academy of Dermatology doesn't recommend relying on them to protect your skin from sun damage. ABC News' Melissa Adon explains.
Some moisturizers and makeup foundations do contain SPF, which helps block harmful sun rays. But the American Academy of Dermatology says if you're spending time outdoors, you need a separate broad-spectrum sunscreen with an SPF of 30 or higher to ensure your skin is fully protected. It's not that makeup with SPF doesn't work. It's just that you'd need to slather on generous amounts to get adequate coverage, way more than would easily blend into your skin. Instead, apply sunscreen first, give it a few minutes to absorb, then apply your makeup on top. Layering up is the way to go for your skin's health and for your best look.
Thanksgiving is right around the corner, and if you've been asked to bring a dessert to your family or friends gathering, we have an easy and delicious recipe to share. Joining us now is food blogger and recipe developer at cookingwithcassandra.com, Cassandra Morris. Good morning, Cassandra.
Thank you so much for having me. It's always an honor to be here.
Thank you so much, because all your recipes are so delicious.
I appreciate that.
So let's talk about this. Of course, when you think about Thanksgiving, I think pumpkin.
Pumpkin, and that's what we're making today. I'm so excited.
Okay.
We are going to be making today pumpkin pie squares with a delicious buttery shortbread crust. So think pumpkin pie, but way easier and no finicky pie crust.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, and it comes together, it just cuts into these beautiful little squares, perfect for any Thanksgiving table.
Okay, so when do you start?
So we're going to start by making the shortbread crust. Okay. So do you make pies?
Just the French version, tourtière, which is tourtière, which is the meat pie version, which is very common during the holidays in the francophone families.
Need to get that recipe, but pies are a little fussy, a little. So what I love about this recipe is that it is so easy to put together. There's no chilling, there's no rolling. I always love to work smarter, not harder in the kitchen.
Yes.
So we just put all of our shortbread crust ingredients into the food processor, and it comes together in less than 60 seconds.
Perfect.
So if you would like to have
push the button?
Yes, press the button, and you see that dough coming together. That's what you want. Okay. Perfect.
Just like that.
That is that easy.
Okay.
So there's no pie crust that is that easy to make. So that takes less than a minute, and we're going to put that in our 9x9 baking dish like we have here.
Yeah. And then do you bake that?
Yeah, we par bake it. So we par bake it for 20 minutes, and all that means is that it just gets a little bit of a head start in the oven while we make our pumpkin pie filling.
Perfect.
Yes.
We've got all the ingredients here.
We're going to move on to that. One thing I always recommend I use pure pumpkin puree. Okay. So over pumpkin pie filling. Pumpkin pie filling comes with pre-sugar.
Should I just put it in?
Add it in.
Okay. All of it?
Yeah, all of it in.
Okay.
And with this pumpkin pie filling, we just put everything into one bowl. It is so simple. Mix it together and we're done. So if you could help me add those ingredients.
And then 2 eggs here.
2 eggs. Always put in a bowl first so you don't get any shells.
Okay, yeah, that's a good idea.
Pour with a little love, some vanilla.
Some vanilla.
We have brown sugar.
And this is?
Heavy cream.
Heavy cream. And why heavy cream?
Well, it's really good for your skin, but we tried many options in our house, so my husband was very happy with that. So we've done the condensed milk, which is a normal thing in pumpkin pie.
Yeah.
I love the heavy cream. It gives such a luscious, creamy flavor. So even if you don't make this dessert, if you make a different pumpkin pie, try it with the heavy cream. It is so good, 35%.
Okay.
And then we add our spices. Which is cinnamon, ginger, and a little touch of nutmeg.
Ooh, I can smell that. It's nice.
And I have another secret.
Okay.
Don't knock it till you try it. It is black pepper.
Black pepper?
So it's not like peppering a steak. It's just like a little crack of the mill, just a little sprinkle, just like that.
What does it do?
So it is kind of like salt in a dessert, where it enhances all the other spices and just gives such a nice warm undertone to the dessert.
Oh, I like that.
Really good. You don't even taste it. It's really good.
Okay.
And then a little bit of cornstarch, 1 tablespoon, and that gives you those beautiful bakery style clean slices.
So when you cut into that cake when it's cooked, it's
perfect.
Almost solid.
Bakery
right?
perfect.
It's not gooey or. Perfect.
So I don't know if I thought this through. Maybe I should have brought us some aprons. We're going to pray that this does not get on our shirts. We're going to start on low.
Oh, there you go.
And we're just going to mix this together.
Yep.
Here. I usually have it a little bit higher speed, but I'm being very cautious. Okay, let's just wing it. And you see that all coming together?
Yeah. Beautiful.
And that is it. How simple is this dessert?
Super easy. And then you put it on top?
Yes.
And then you bake it?
Yes. So we put it over a par baked. So Magica TV, this is already baked for 20 minutes. And we're going to pour this over top of our, I guess we could do that right now.
Yeah, we're almost out of time already.
So perfect.
Once you've done that, you bake it for how long?
50 to 55 minutes.
Okay.
And then you let it chill for 3 hours in the fridge. That's the hardest part, to wait to eat it. But
and then this is what you get. This is the final product. And then you take the whipping cream.
You can have pumpkin pie or bars without the whipped cream.
Just like that. Should I leave it or should I?
No, put it on.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Look at that, baking with Rochelle. Look at that.
Putting it everywhere.
I love the generous amount of whipped cream on it. That is delicious, and that is how you put your whipped cream on these pumpkin bars.
There you go. You're ready for Thanksgiving. You have a dessert to bring to family or friends.
And great to make ahead.
Oh, yes. You could freeze this as well. Thank you, Cassandra.
Thank you for having me.
Anytime.
Oh, well done. I'm going to get you to put the whipping cream on everything from now on, Rochelle. -1 right now. Sunny out there with winds out of the west, 16 kilometers per hour. Pressure is rising. The humidity sitting at 94%. Very good. In fact, I don't even need the pumpkin square. Just although I wouldn't trust you to hit the target. It would be all over my... Anyway, let's take a look at the conditions today. It is clear. It is gorgeous. It's cool, though, and so it's only going to be gorgeous if you're properly dressed for it. Throw those extra layers on, and you'll be glad that you did. A few extra clouds along that eastern border. Even those will be clearing as the day goes on. Plenty of sunshine, not just today, but throughout the rest of the week, and plenty more warmth coming our way after today. Today, still going to be a below seasonal day, topping out at about 9 degrees, when 13 is in fact normal for this time of year. But then all of a sudden we're surpassing seasonal the rest of the week. Beautiful conditions. Not only will the sun keep shining for us, we've got these temperatures pushing up into the mid to high teens, even hitting into the low 20s as we're rolling on into the long weekend. That sunshine won't last though. Sunday looking a little bit soggy, and just on the other side of that, the temperatures drop off a bit for holiday Monday. We're taking a break, but we'll be back with Your Morning Winnipeg.
Rooftop arrangements provided by Lacoste Garden Center. Salon services provided by Essentique Spa Salon.
Before we say goodbye, we're gonna show you some fun video. We start with an unforgettable moment for a young gymnast.
And this is when
She nailed it. The look on her face says it all, and it only took seconds after she landed her aerial cartwheel for her teammates to rush to her to celebrate the moment. So sweet when we can celebrate our accomplishments together.
Aww.
Look at that face. So sweet. Now to a playground ride that scares some adults. This woman did not expect it to be catapulted into the water like that,
Right?
And her scream proves it. Yeah, that's a good surprise.
Do you know what I thought it was going to be when you said that this one scares some adults? That old school merry-go-round. Do you remember?
The crickety one?
Yeah, and you'd like push each other around on it. Oh,
so fun. Well, now to a woman who is trying to act out what she just read.
She smiled at him with her lower teeth.
How do you smile with your lower teeth anyway? She tried, and it's hilarious. Maybe not as romantic as the book lays it out.
This must have been translated and got lost along the way.
That does it for us. We'll see you tomorrow.